All right. All right. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. I just noticed the subtitles mispronounced my name. That's fun. Um we are, for those of you that are new here, Why Superman Sucks. This consists of myself and my favorite note taker, Rader. We do a lot of breakdowns on all things fantasy related, right? We do comic books, Marvel, DC. We do anime. We do video games. We do Lord of the Rings. We're going to be doing uh, Mandalorian stuff soon. We're going to have Harry Potter stuff potentially. Uh, and we do versus stuff. Our versus stuff are very simple. I will take whatever characters we're putting up against each other. We put them at their most powerful. We put them in a neutral uh, world where weaknesses don't matter, and we break down and argue who would win over who, and let special guest judges decide who is going to be the winner. We are here on the tube. We have several other links. Check them down below. Uh, Today is going to be a fun one. We have a bunch of stuff to discuss and break down for you guys. So I guess we'll just pop it off. Where do you guys want to start?
I mean, Raider, did you watched Punisher last night, right? Too.
No, I did not.
What?
And
Thank you,
no,
Killer.
don't you whoop me because you're about to get the same earful out of me that Mitty did. I got 5 minutes into it, and in the first 5 minutes, we have somebody vomiting, which I'm a sensitive Sally when it comes to that, okay? But then we also have a homeless man get punched in the face, or punched, and a dog get thrown in front of a truck. And at that point, I turned it off. Sorry, not sorry. I have limits on things that I can watch. And if that's what the first 5 minutes are, I can't do it. I can't. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I tried, couldn't do it.
I mean,
So here
really,
we are.
I hate to say it, that 5 minutes was the emotional, gripping, twist your stomach kind of crap, and then everything else from there was just
No,
pretty.
no,
No,
no, you didn't pay attention. There were
no.
plenty of parts after that that,
Well,
whew,
I don't think as bad as the dog. Okay, maybe that's because I'm an animal person, but like that was the one I was like, oh fuck no.
Raider, you're being spoken to in the chat.
Yeah, no, I agree, Phoenix. I woke up this morning because I had a bit of a later night, and so I was like, you know what? I'm up early. I'll watch it right before a podcast, so I'll be fresh in my mind. It's only like less, just under an hour long, so I can knock it out, no problem. And then and then that, and then I looked over at Fish and I said, I'm not fucking watching this. I'm sorry, just no, can't. I can't do it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I guess that leaves you and me talking about it, maybe. I was hoping to get your take.
We just got
They're
it.
monsters and there's limits, and okay, so like I understand, and again, you have to take this from the point of view that I did not watch the entire thing, right? Because I know that this very much so dials in on the whole on PTSD and things of that nature, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like you could have done it without the death of the dog. Okay, I might have been able to push through, but the dog being chucked in front of a truck, can't do it. Nope, you lost me. That right there, that was the line. And you know I
But it
you
comes full
know
circle. That scene
I
comes full
understand,
circle.
they get revenge, but that is now a dead dog. Okay, there's the whole thing of this, right? You have plenty of people, right? You watch movies and they're like, look, I don't care if every single one of these people live or die, but the dog has to live. Anybody, when it comes to the D&D campaign that my husband's in, I heal his dog so many times. I don't care if they die, but you're not killing the dog, okay? You don't kill the dog. That's all there is to it. That is there's tons of people who that is their line, okay?
I
You
understand.
don't kill the dog.
And we had a whole
Okay,
series about that
so
called John Wick. Um,
all right, hold on. Okay, I agree with you. I understand. But let's break down this beginning part, okay?
mhm.
Because we have this taking place like during the events of Daredevil Born Again season 2, but leading into the events of what is going to be Spider-Man Brand New Day. What they are showing is the level of violence that was going on behind the scenes that you really didn't see in Daredevil, right? And as per all things Punisher related, it's dialed up to 100 at all times. And this really was about Frank finally confronting his demons and essentially understanding that this problem is going to be here, but the solution is not like for me to end it all.
Yeah.
And the I feel like it had to be violent for the conclusion that he came to. It had to be as over the top, and I understand. I understand the line. That's why I also suggested that you go watch a few breakdowns before we hopped in here. But we're here, and that's fine. Um, but Frank's whole existence is violence. Everything he's ever known was violence, and then more intense violence after he got back home. Also, I am really glad we finally settled on uh, on a branch and a job for him, right?
Yeah.
Because he was either labeled just special forces in the comics, or he was labeled Marines, and he's referred to uh, Marine Recon is what they go with
On this, yeah.
for for this one. And that really is a great scene. That scene, the revenge scene, is the PTSD take was done so well. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, it was. I had to pause at the cemetery scene where he's sitting there and
The flashes.
next to his yep the flashes to the family. Then there was in the apartment when all the boys from his unit are standing around him, um,
That's the
all
thing.
yelling at him, calling him worthless. Like
Well, that's the
oof.
thing. Is like when his family died, like literally, he had a single purpose. He had one purpose at that point, and it was revenge for my family, and that was done. So I looked at it as not only, he had something to throw himself at to avoid all the shit that had piled on. He had a way to escape, if you will,
Mhm.
all the aspects of his PSD haunting him, even though, not entirely. But once that was done, it's like everything hit him full force. He was lost. He had no purpose. He had no mission, and he didn't know what to do. So it just opened the doors for everything in his past to kind of like start knocking on his head.
Yep, and this is gonna lead us into like not necessarily identical to the Punisher we have in the comics right now, but like the Punisher that we've had over the course of the last couple decades, where he comes to terms with everyone that shattered his existence was dealt with, and now what am I supposed to do with the rest of this? Uh,
Let's see, how did I put it?
eh, that's that was what fucked you up. Well, was it the cemetery scene or in the in the apartment? The cliffhanger diabolical. Okay, so Phoenix, that is because this was supposed to lead us into because he's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So this wasn't supposed to be a whole its own whole movie thing. This was just supposed to be here's what was going on with Frank before he decided to go pal around with Spider-Man. The cemetery hurts you? Yeah, that was definitely that one I paused at the longest. Like it was like again, it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Not just PTSD within the military community, but PTSD in general. The crossover and tie-in. That's what it was supposed to be, was to tie into the crossover. Um and again, while we're on this subject, I feel like I should tell everybody that if you are going through mental health struggle, just make sure that you reach out. There are numbers. There are reach out to your friends and your family. Just know you're not alone, and that while talking about it makes the feels come back, and that no good, but it'll make the bad feels go away. The scene of them shouting hurt, but the cemetery had you sobbing. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is definitely a tough one. I don't know why they did the cliffhanger the way they did it, because it makes me question what how are they going to start Brand New Day?
Yeah.
Because anything involving Punisher is going to be brutal. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be brutal. And this was Marvel telling us the gloves are off.
And yeah, I'm about to say, because that's the one thing I noticed. We all know it's the Nucci family shit, and that ending, like right in front of their restaurant. It's like, is he there to go through the door and say fuck this group again? Or I was
And like,
expecting an explosion, like the cool walk away explosion thing. Like
I'm so glad that it wasn't.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean, this
the
really
scene of
was,
the
and I think how this is going to tie into Spider-Man more, and possibly into the third season of Born Again, because I think they might bring him back for that. I can see an opening there, but this was Frank moving from revenge to justice mentality, just his brand of justice, if you will. Not I'm going to web you up and leave you for the cops. It's nope, you don't deserve this anymore. You don't deserve to be on this plane.
the fight scenes were
Oh God.
so crisp, so
Okay,
crisp.
is it just me, or I swear that whole apartment thing from the moment it started with the flames, right?
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, that almost looked like a one take, one shot flow through the way
It could
they
have been.
played it. Yeah, it was. I will say, out of the fight scenes, and I'll even throw John Wick in there, I think that these scenes were better than John
I
Wick.
like I like that they finally accurately showed how a fight like that would go. Because remember, Frank Castle is not a superhuman. All right, he doesn't have super soldier serum. He's not a mutant. He's not an alien. There's no superpowers. He is just what is known as peak human. So the most like physically in shape a human being can be. That is barely what he is. And a fight like that would take so much out of you. I don't think you understand. A one-on-one fight is exhausting. One-on-two, if you have the skills, gets super draining. Anything over two or three, I don't care how skilled you are, that is so much mental focus. It takes so much out of you physically. Like, it's just it was so good. It was so good, and I
And
really did feel like it was one take.
and Phoenix, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. The whole, I think until the fire hit him and he was standing there, it was the thing in his head of, is this real? Everything else is kind of maybe or no. Is this real, or is this just my brain fucking with me because of what she
Mm.
said? And then once it popped off, that was the, I'm here. I'm in this moment. I know what I have to do.
The diner scene was my favorite. The
Oh
final
my
fight in the
god.
diner when he takes the one guy out, and then the other like behemoth of a man steps in, and just the look on Frank's face of
God damn it.
that
That was an exhaustion look. It really was. It was like, motherfucker, I'm trying to make sure these people are okay. You got to rush in here like this. Where's a pen? But yeah, oh god, and that was hard. That scene
the
was,
pen.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was, but the aftermath, like, the fact of the little girl and the flower, like Phoenix was saying, and just it's like there's this part. It's his humanity is so not buried, but he pushes it aside when he's in the moment. There is no mercy really.
Well, you got to think about the mentality you have to have when not just when you're in the military, but when you're at the level that he was at. Like it's you or them, right?
Hmm.
Who's going home today? Am I gonna go see my family and my loved ones, or is this stupid son of a bitch going to get the victory he thinks he deserves and go home to his
Yeah.
situation? So,
But I think they did it beautifully. And what's funny is if you really, and I noticed this when I was watching it last night, he didn't speak much, other than at the graveyard, really, to his own kids. You
mm-hmm,
know, everything else was like quick little sentence here and there. He really only spoke and like, I don't know how to phrase it, but like communicated when it was basically him talking to himself in that situation. I hate putting it that
nope.
way, but that's about the best way I can psyche wise.
The most talking was with the homeless guy when the homeless guy was like, "Hey, Jarhead, that's my lid."
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and
and the
then
crossing out of this fucking tattoo. That thing.
mm-hmm,
That was a moment where I'm like, okay, yep, he's on that deep end.
mm-hmm,
But
yep.
I would give it very high marks. Even if
Just,
you have to
just
fast forward past the first like 10 minutes, you can still follow from there.
no. I think Punisher was good. Uh, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I haven't really seen. I don't think they've released any extra footage or trailer or anything.
Not since the last one, not yet.
No, but the run that this is based off of is going to be emotional. It's going to be intense. However they do it, it's going to be huge in the feels, and because this is Peter accepting what his new life is going to be, what his role in the world is going to be, and that the people that he loved, they're just gone. Like, he has to accept that he made the choice to have everybody forget him. And now, what is moving forward?
It's almost like
And, like, oh, good.
it's almost like coming to grips with his own forced solitude and
Mm-hmm.
isolation.
The dynamic between uh, Frank and Peter, Punisher and Spider Man, it's actually a really touching dynamic. Think like Peter essentially becomes a moral compass for the Punisher. Like there are times where uh, Frank swoops in to help Peter, and um, he wants to do Punisher things. Like if I kill you, you can't hurt anyone again, right? And there are times where he gets like borderline brat level with Spider-Man because Spider-Man will say, "We're not going to kill him. He's going to get justice, but it's going to be through the courts." I remember a scene from one of the Spider-Man animated series where Frank gets so mad at Spider-Man that he throws his gun on the ground and essentially stomps his foot and fucking walks away back to his van
Yep.
because he wanted to kill a mugger, and Peter was like, "It makes no sense to do that. You're better than that. How can you be a hero if you're going to stoop to their level and kill?" And that's another big thing between them is the amount of not, I wouldn't say not understanding, but Frank never calls himself a hero ever.
Oh no,
Period.
no. He's actually flat
Ever.
out said, "I'm no hero" when someone has tried to call him that.
Yep. And Spider-Man constantly has this need, this push to bring Frank all the way over to the side of the light.
Because
Um,
Peters has always been and I hate saying it this way, but Peters always had the savior hero complex. Oh, you're a villain and there's this thing and I'm going to try to fix you. That part they got right in the movies. But even with the heroes when they're going through stuff, or Punisher, anti-hero, whatever you want to call him in that situation, of no, this isn't who you have to be. You can be better. He tries to be that beacon, and when he doesn't, it it affects him. You can actually see it in Spider-Man. It's like when he can't make that change, he can't show someone the light. There's there's a shift. Like he's not even as what do you call it? Like witty in his comments after a situation like that.
I think my favorite thing is in the past I've had people want to do verses with me, and then every once in a while the versus community is weird because you have one side of it where everything's balanced and everything is like let's really figure out who would win, who would lose, and then you have another side where they don't care about facts, they just want to win. And my favorite one was someone wanted to do a at their most powerful um who was it? It was Iron Fist versus Punisher. And a little known fact, if you're not big into like comics and stuff, uh, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Look him up.
Oh,
But it was Frank Castle being the host of the Spirit of Vengeance. And that is I wouldn't even argue it. That is objectively the most powerful version of Ghost Rider and the most powerful version of the Punisher. Like he went back in time, found baby Thanos, was going to kill baby Thanos and couldn't bring himself to do it. So instead raised Thanos himself
and that
and then left him in that timeline. Went back to check on him later, only to find out that Thanos had nabbed all of the villains in the universe and put them in internment camps.
like you do.
Yeah. Are we getting a new Ghost Rider? I do not know. I do not know.
Oh,
I would assume because here's the thing. Uh, uh, Spider-Man Noir is coming out.
yeah, I think that just dropped or is
Uh,
dropping this week.
and Nick Cage is going to be Spider-Man Noir. For those of you that don't know about Spider-Man Noir, it's a variant, not version, it's a variant of Spider-Man. It's not even Peter Parker, um, who lives in a world full of black and white, and ends up once again. I don't think his is a radioactive spider. I think his was like a poison or something.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was poison or something like that. But I have to
Um,
laugh though because I don't know what possessed Amazon to this, but from my understanding, there are two versions you can watch. One is in black and white, and one is color. And I'm like, no, this was supposed to be in black and white.
mm-hmm. Let me tell you that fake Jensen Ackles Ghost Rider trailer had me losing my mind. I do believe he's being looked at for the next Batman.
Which I would actually be okay with.
Well, so fun fact, he's voiced Batman in a bunch of the animated movies.
Yeah.
He's actually Kevin Conroy is the OG. No one will ever top Kevin Conroy. That is animated Batman. All right, period. You can argue it all you want, and I will laugh at you till you run out of oxygen. But after that, everyone says Troy Baker is a great voice actor for Batman. Screw you, Troy Baker. Yeah, I'll start an internet beef with you. Uh, I like a lot of Troy Baker stuff. However, Jensen Ackles' Batman was perfect.
So if you're gonna, but you got to throw that because I just looked it up. He did Batman for Long Halloween Part 1 and 2, Legion of Superheroes, Justice League War
Mm-hmm.
World, and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth trilogy. But his first foray into the Bat world was in 2010 voicing Jason Todd, Red Hood, in Batman Under the Red Hood.
No, that is right. And he did phenomenal. Phenomenal.
And it's
As
like,
Red
yeah,
as
about
Red
to say that whole like the conversation that we all know, the like, because you couldn't kill him, not even for me. Like, damn, like his voice did it.
What did you type that YouTube filtered? Type it again.
Oh, it actually came up. Hold on, it came up on the thing.
Imagine that Phoenix saying bad words.
Oh,
What?
daddy issues. Her
She would
daddy issues comment
never.
got filtered.
Oh, did it?
Peter also has him some daddy
No, I
issues.
see it.
Oh no, I
It's
see it.
up
It's right
there.
here. Yeah, it's right here.
No, we
It's
see
right
it
here.
on like.
No,
Let's see
she
here.
typed something else
Well, I'm gonna say
that
because
didn't
it's
come
not
through at
showing
all.
on the right on my because I've got YouTube.
Text it to me, Phoenix.
Yeah, right. Like I want to know. Normally we see the thing that
I
is
need to know
filtered.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Text it to me. Text it to me.
No, no, no. We want to know. You have inquiring minds. We want to know.
No, she's saying it was
We're here.
another one that got filtered.
Yeah, she's remember there's a delay, so she's
Yeah.
saying nuh to the daddy issues comment we were just
Yeah,
talking
it's funny
about.
because on the chat on the right, that's not there, but it's on our screen. So.
Oh, that means that on the right side you're on top chat, not live chat.
Ah, okay. Aha!
Mm-hmm.
I have been taught.
Jesus. So Spider-Man is gonna be one to keep an eye on as soon. I promise you guys, as soon as we get a trailer, keep an eye out because we're gonna go live right then,
Oh, yeah.
right there. Immediately, we'll watch the trailer together whenever they drop it.
And I mean, we're talking Spider-Man, we're talking Punisher. You know where we've got to segue to.
What you want to go into Daredevil?
I mean, we at
I
least got to
like
touch on the finale. We have to touch on it.
we can go for it. You are more excited for this than I am. It was a good season. It was really good. I just don't like how predictable it got.
Oh, I mean, you knew that's how it was going to end. You knew it was going to be the the big bad versus the hero, fighting it out. But it was the factor of one. I love when they actually pulled the iconic scenes of Kingpin in his white suit, bloodied. That has always been like that was an iconic comic book cover right there. But watching him lose it, watching him realize he had lost the city, and going so rageful that he was just throwing people around and just the civilians that had gotten involved, beating them down. It showed one of the very few times we see Kingpin lose his shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is going to come into play because I don't think his. I am kind of pissed off with the aspect of, oh look, you get to go away to Bora Bora or wherever the hell you went with your money and all that stuff, and hey, Matt Murdock, here's a jail cell. You know, like that didn't seem kind of fair. But I think that's where I'm feeling that the turmoil that we saw there, kind of like the eclipse to it, because we know it's going to create a power vacuum, just like we were talking about the power vacuum in Punisher that the news like addressed. So I think when we get into Spider-Man, that's where it's all going to kind of tie together. Is the Kingpin's gone, like the big organized crime is gone, the little organized crime family is gone. There's gonna be just this power vacuum and this fighting going on, and I think that's how maybe we see everything come together.
Right, Phoenix, we can bring you up here if you have stuff to contribute.
Yes, I don't have a PNG tuber for you, but we can bring you.
Well, we don't need to have one for everyone. But yeah, no. If you want to come up here and yell some facts at us,
just pop into a VC and I can move you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have said so many times, if anybody wants to make an appearance, if you have things you want to talk about when we're here on the lives, I don't care. We can bring you up, be respectful, but I don't care. We'll bring you up.
I'd say PG-13, but we cuss so much.
Fuck.
All right, all right. So
Listen. Hmm.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, listen, I'll do what I want, say what I want.
And speaking of Brat, uh, hold on, she is joining because I know she watched Punisher this morning.
Yeah, I know. I got yelled at. Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't tell me, and you know I'm
I
an
didn't tell
animal
anyone.
person, so I'm like sitting there on
I
the
didn't.
couch last night. I'm gonna paint this scene for you. I fucking sit on the couch. I've got my pizza. I got my drink, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit here and eat this while I'm watching this. And I start it, and I'm taking like a bite of pizza, and okay, great. I've got puking. I've got dog. I was like, I'm good. I'll watch, but I am not eating anymore. Thank you.
So this will probably be a longer one today. We've got a lot to touch on and a lot of
Oh,
jumping
she's
around to do.
hold on, let's see if I can drag her up. I'm trying to drag her up, but I can't move. Oh,
I said I had it.
oh, I didn't hear you.
Hello?
I'm sorry. Hello.
I got all kinds of facts. And yes, you're in trouble. Why didn't you fucking tell me? Fucking
because
cried.
because nobody told
Rude.
me. And if I have to suffer, you all have to suffer.
So what you're saying is you just had
Sitting
to
there,
straight.
tra la 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 la. Then he gets to the cemetery, and I'm like, oh god, oh no, oh shit, oh man, oh man.
So what we're learning is
After
that
that,
if Mity is traumatized, we all have to get traumatized.
This
you know
is
what?
the law
I
of the
can't even
land.
be that mad because that's what I do to everybody with my book. So fine, 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 fine. Oh, I was
uh,
screaming at my phone because you guys were talking about. This is gonna be obvious. You guys are gonna know Jensen Ackles and Batman. Okay, I
mhm,
have facts.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
so if you watch Supernatural, not only did Dean, but also Sam predicted their futures in real life because there's a scene where Dean says, I'm Batman. Okay. And then he gets to do these voices and he's potentially going to become Batman and all that. So, like, that came true, manifested that. But Jared Padalecki did as well because in one of the episodes, he had called himself Walker and he ended up going on to
Hmm.
become Walker Texas Ranger.
Hope they kept that show going. I never finished it.
I think they got two
What?
seasons out of it. It didn't last as long as I thought it would.
I didn't watch it. I saw like a couple clips of it, but I didn't watch it because it was like right when I was still like watching Supernatural,
Okay, look,
and
the
I
only
have a
thing I
problem
will
with
say
rewatching.
on Walker that I thought was kind of just like some BS was it's like, okay, we all know Supernatural, Sam's girl, the demon, fire, blah. And then it's like, yeah, and over here, yeah, my wife was killed. I'm like, can this man just have a decent relationship once? You know?
Never.
Or apparently, so I've been waiting. Did you guys say The Boys is officially done? Because I've been waiting for
Hmm.
it to officially be done so I can start my watch. So
Yeah.
apparently they hyped it up that they were gonna bring Jared and Misha on board,
Yes.
and apparently that was like
Great.
they only like had them in there for like a brief moment. So like
Oh,
everyone got hyped up for this, and they like it was glossed over.
no, it was, but it was worth it. It was worth it. I've got 2 episodes left to go, but that scene has already come and gone, and it was a good, I'd say 10, 15 minute whole scene, and yeah, it was. I warning for anyone because apparently maybe we should do some trigger warnings. Like we should have started with trigger warning pet, but
Never.
but trigger warning massive bloody mess for that scene.
From what I hear, that entire show is a trigger warning
It really
because before
is.
I ever, when it first came out, I remember I was like, oh, I need to start watching this, and then I was like, no, I was like, because I know I'm gonna watch, and then I'm gonna be antsy for the rest. So I've been waiting for the whole thing to be done. And I remember when it first came out, like something about tentacle corn going on, and I was like, what the hell?
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. Uh,
Oh, lovely, lovely. Something worse than
the
tentacle corn.
octopus is your
Okay.
friend. Um,
All right.
But
Like,
the best thing I will say on it for anybody who is listening who hasn't watched The Boys, who is thinking about watching The Boys, is if you get squeamish at like blood and you're like, nah, I'm okay, I can do blood. I mean, it's oceans, okay? Not a pond, not a lake, it's oceans. So if it keep that in mind.
All right. Let's transition here.
Yes.
So we've gone over Punisher. Great. Amazing. 10 out of 10. If you haven't watched it, watch it. You have your warning now. Be thankful that there is a Lord and a Raider in your life, because I won't give you the warning. We have talked about Daredevil. We talked about Spider-Man. Hey, Shark. We are going to. I'm really excited for Lanterns. Well, we'll say I am 99% excited for Lanterns.
I think that's higher than what I thought you were at the other day. I mean, I was thinking you were more 90, so that's kind of good to hear.
The 1%. The 1% is it's such a big change if they do it. I mean, I know it doesn't matter to people who don't read the comics. I don't, but like,
Well, why don't
you can't
I would say before we dive too deep into it.
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Exactly. Let's see. Pop the video share. Sorry, guys. Be patient with me because this is the first time I'm using the system. All right, here we go.
This ring, it's the greatest weapon in the universe. When and if to use it, that's the whole ball game, Junior.
Did you just use that ring to counterfeit money?
No.
Tell me how you got it. The ring.
You know how I got it. I sure as hell didn't interview for it.
Oh, well, shit, maybe you should have. Power like that, shouldn't you have to work for it?
I've been doing this since you were a baby. The only way you're gonna get this ring is over my dead fucking body.
I think he likes me. Everybody is lying to us.
We're not leaving here till we find out what they're hiding. Dangerous part of the job. You need to be fearless.
How were you chosen for this?
It's only one question. Are you afraid? You afraid?
Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
I was raised fearless, and I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, John Stewart.
Okay. Go back to. There we go.
I just died at. Did you use that ring to counterfeit money?
Yes. And I don't know. I feel like I agree with the internet on the aspect of it was nice seeing so much green.
Here's the thing. All right, what you have to take into consideration is it wasn't until recently that people started getting onto the bandwagon of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, all right? So, Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie, one thing to note is he only did that movie because they said if he did it, they would greenlight Deadpool. So that's why he did Green Lantern.
Wait, he was going for Deadpool that long ago?
Oh
Yes.
God, yes.
Yeah. Deadpool was his baby. Like it's his favorite character. Loves the character. Might as well be the fucking character.
They even said in the comic he looks like Ryan Reynolds mixed with what was it? Tom Cruise scarred up in one of the comics.
Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was not bad. For the time that it was released, it was not a bad movie. CGI was Not even really that bad. People just wanted. No one knows what they want, right? Everyone's like, I need something comic book related. We get the new Superman movie. Everyone's pissed off because Guy Gardner is wearing a comic accurate suit. Nobody wants CGI until they see what the suits look like without the green. And they held back because they didn't want a repeat of the Ryan of the 2011, yeah, the 2011 Green Lantern movie. They didn't want to repeat. That's why they did that. So it was kind of like a little test. Let's drop this out here in the most bland way we can and see what everybody's response is. Because technically, that suit that they show Hal wearing in the first trailer that they dropped for it is a comic accurate suit. He didn't always wear a green suit, and the suit wasn't always lit up by the ring. When the suit is lit up with the ring, it's usually he's put a force field, like a small little force. That's what that is. Is it's there to like repel bullets and shit. It's not there for cosmetics. It's there for function.
Which kind of goes
I
into
like
play too with the flight aspect there. Like when you saw him like take off, there
Mhm.
was no green.
Yeah.
He just flew.
Yeah. Which there should be a glow because the ring is what makes him fly.
Yes.
But I love that once again we have Aaron Pierre in a movie where he boxes. It's great. It's great. If you don't know the reference, he was in the Creed movie about Apollo Creed from the Rocky series. His kid, that's who, or grandson or whatever. That was Aaron Pierre. He's also been in a couple MMA movies and other boxing movies. And anytime you see this man in a movie, at some point in time, he's hitting a punching bag. It's guaranteed.
Hey, if it's what you're good at.
Oh, I love him as an actor. And as
Wow.
Jon Stewart, I could only think of maybe one other person that could have pulled off a Jon Stewart, but it would have had to have been a really old Jon Stewart. Keith Richards could have done it really well.
Now, so I'm me and I'm an internet person, so I just like pulled up his IMDb. And 1st off, the factor of that he was the voice for Mufasa the Lion King.
Who?
Aaron. I'm Pierre.
Pierre?
Yeah, he was Mufasa's voice in that. But what got me is he was also Dev M on Krypton for 20 episodes. I totally forgot about that. So, but I loved seeing the upcoming and seeing the words "Man of Tomorrow," Jon Stewart for 2027 for him. So
yeah,
he is solidifying himself.
Man of Tomorrow is supposed to be like either leading into or disguised as a Justice League movie.
Okay.
Which is why we're getting Lanterns. I like how they're doing it. It's going to be a TV series. It's going to be like a cop drama, essentially, but like a space cop drama, which is great. I don't like what they're doing. Here's my 1%, guys. Ready for this? I don't like the insinuation that John is going to have to steal Hal's ring. Because that's not... He's not. He's never had to do it. Ever. Period. Ever. There was only one instance where it wasn't even stealing. The ring didn't deem Hal worthy anymore because Parallax had infested him, and John ended up with Hal's ring. The ring left Hal. So a little known fact for people who aren't up to speed on comics. The rings are kind of sentient. You don't choose to become a Green Lantern. You don't choose to become any of the lanterns. The rings choose you. Green will deem you worthy based on how strong your willpower is. Red is looking for the most anger-filled, rage, hate-filled individual. Yellow is looking for someone who is in tune with fear. All right?
Can cause fear.
Yes. Like,
so that makes me raise a question for you guys. Since you guys know the ins and outs of it, and you like, okay, so based off of comics, do you see when they make movies, do you see them following pretty well with the story, or are you seeing a lot of the let's change things up to just, get that action and get that like drama into the story for people? Like, Are they pretty accurate, or do they add stuff just because that's what they fucking do?
Well, they have to add stuff. There are in some instances, you like the most recent Superman movie was pretty decently comic accurate. But if you were to keep it direct comic accurate, then you're gonna struggle bringing new people in because of the inconsistencies in the comic book world. And there are some things that you can touch on in comics that you can't touch on in a live action movie. So it's been a long road of acceptance for me personally because of my love and affection for the comic world. But the movie world isn't doing too bad. They do have to ham things up, and sometimes they don't get rights to certain storylines, so they want to do that storyline, but they have to change it up. So it's finding that balance, right? And I think we're on the road here because Disney just got a new boss man, and he let go a lot of people and said that, and I know this is me quoting a post. This doesn't reflect the thoughts, opinions, or feelings of anybody that is on this podcast or the viewers themselves. But they said that they are done with the woke agenda, that they're going to be going back to grassroots phrases like "yes sir," "yes ma'am," "no, no sir," "no ma'am." All that stuff are going to be more prevalent. No more mismatching actors and actresses of characters just to try to please people. They're done with all that. So we'll see. We'll see what's in store for Marvel and all Disney franchises coming up. Because there are some characters that you just don't change. There's no need to. So they are. I cannot remember this woman's name, but the person that they have picked for Storm is absolutely perfect.
I have to find her. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. And they were talking about going with like a white girl or a Hispanic girl for a while. And I was like, no, 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 no. There's some people that you don't change. There's some people you don't change.
Who is it?
What's her name? I cannot remember.
Kirby. Curry Howell Baptiste? Is that the right? Am I saying that right?
Do we know what she's from?
You're going to make me search.
Okay, so they are currently looking at Cynthia Erivo.
Is that the current one? Because yeah, they've been talking to people basically for the last year. And we've had a couple that have like dropped.
Yeah,
like,
the one that you see a lot is Cynthia Erivo. If you've watched Wicked,
Wait, the one from Oz.
Yeah.
Yes, she was in Wicked.
Yep.
She's gonna be Storm.
Storm. Yep.
Well, they haven't, from what I see, they haven't made
they haven't
casting announcement.
But anytime it's an interview, it's with her. So what am I supposed to think?
Oh yeah, and apparently she really wants the role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she is very much. She's spoken out a couple different interviews. Like, yes, I want this.
You know who would also be kind of cool in that role?
The
lady that played Michonne.
I think. Hold on.
That gives me so much to go off of.
What do you mean?
She's talking Walking Dead.
Michonne from The Walking Dead? Lady with the swords and the dreads?
You guys ready for this? I never made it past the first 3 episodes of the first season.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus, somebody save me. Somebody save
Okay,
me.
no, so I watched Walking Dead. I stopped after, I don't know, maybe like the second or third season maybe, because it's just the same thing every time. Like, here we go. It's like Survivor, right? Let's see. This season we're going to try and go from this place to this place. Oh, we find these people. Oh, that's awesome. We have more people. Now half of us are dead. We made it to this place. That's just kind of the gist of it, right?
I mean,
Rinse,
to
cycle,
be
repeat.
fair, though, I mean, to be fair, I get that. But to be fair, I mean, That's exactly how it would be, though, if that was really going down. Everything's very repetitive and monotonous once you get into a lifestyle like that because there's nothing else going on. But I do get that on the same hand because repetitive stuff drives me fucking bonkers. But I
It's like
forced
when
myself to
is
continue watching it. And there was one point I was doing pretty good. Like, it kind of comes in waves. Like, if you get past season 3, it's one of those, like, ooh, this is amazing. And then you're like, oh, come on, keep it moving, keep it moving. And then you go, oh, this is amazing. Like, especially like the filler episodes drove me insane. But like, I had to force myself to finish it after like one of the seasons where something diabolical happened. And like, it definitely, once it goes on a lot further, you're like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, I
But
really
that's
held on for like, I held on for Daryl Dixon, and I held on because like the really cool stuff was really really cool, and also one of the characters kind of like inspired me for like a future character, and so like I was really scoping them out the whole time.
but see, I think Walking Dead suffers from the same thing that a lot of series that come from comic books, graphic novels, and so forth does, and that is that goes too long almost. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what
Yep.
I was about to go
Yeah.
into, right? Is like I feel like when you have shows like this, right, there should be an end goal. This is your end of your the end goal of what the show is going to be, right? And if I'm looking at Walking Dead, end goal would be we make it somewhere safe and we start rebuilding, right? We start working on getting rid of the problem. Okay?
yeah.
That would be realistically the end goal. All right, you've got shows, I mean it's like Scrubs or even Grey's Anatomy. How long can we draw a show out?
I think
Because
they're
oh
trying to be
man,
ER. Those shows
I
are
mean
trying to
yeah.
be
Well, they
ER
they kind of
today.
have that with the pit, but that's another story. Uh,
Oh my god, I love the pit so much. Don't even get me started.
yeah, I say that's
Don't
that's
even
a
get me
conversation for
started.
another time. But
Yeah, but
Okay.
you know,
Anyways,
like with Walking Dead, like it's just you never get to that. Okay, here we are.
but you
Let's figure shit out.
But you do because
well,
it
not
seems
unless
like
they
every
have
time they
spinoffs.
do, like they do get to like the prison, they do get to these different places where they kind of like, okay, we're good, and then it's, hey, guess what? There's another group, or there's this issue, or there's that
Yep.
issue.
But that's
So
what I
Mhm.
mean. That's where they draw it out. Let's
yeah,
oh, okay, this season, let's see how long we can keep going. It's one of those shows that you're like, all right, enough's enough. We're 13 seasons in, end the shit. You know, because there's
Well,
shows that
the
we're
spinoffs
all like,
get
oh,
worse
we want
too.
yeah. But you know, you have these shows where like, man, why did they end it off like this? We could have done. You needed to do more with it, but they stop it because they know if you go past this point, you risk beating the dead horse, right? Of it just going
Mhm.
too long, being too drawn out, people losing interest, and that's where I feel like that show suffered in that they drew it out too long. Let's make
and
too much of having the same thing happening over and over and over and over and over again.
but I think they also
Is
went
there a
into that
Marvel
show.
equivalent to that?
Oh God, no, we really haven't had a lot of Marvel series that have like stuck around for more than 4 or 5 seasons.
We had the potential for one. Gifted could have gotten
Yeah,
that, but
Gifted could have gone, but they stopped it at what was it, 2 or 3?
2 seasons.
Yeah, it had the potential
What's
to really.
Gifted?
Oh my God.
So Gifted was about it was a mutant specific TV show
Uh-huh.
where it picks up after the X-Men are long gone and mutants are living underground just fighting to survive. It's on Hulu. Uh,
It's worth a watch, and it's got a great
it
fucking cast.
it really they did really good, and they referenced the X-Men
Hmm.
quite a
Is
bit
it
in that.
older or is it new?
Older.
No, it's older.
I want to say that was from like
Oh,
early 2010s.
Yeah, it was around that. So it was around the same time. Like Legion was around at this time. Cloak and Dagger was around at this time.
Cloak and Dagger was a
Can
good
we
one.
talk about the fact that we just called 2010 older?
Okay,
I'm gonna
look.
cry now.
ew!
I'm gonna
Stop
That
it
cry
right
just
now.
now!
hurt my soul, Lord.
Stop it
Hurt
right
my
I,
now!
look, I have just
soul.
accepted my place. Okay.
Oh my god!
No, but and the thing is, I think one of the issues Walking Dead had, and it's the factor of they went into it knowing they had all this reference material and they kind of wanted to cover all of it. Whereas you had shows like, and I know I'll make Phoenix over here squeal a little bit. Um, Supernatural that came in and said, "Look, we're doing this for 5 seasons. We have the 5 season arc, and that's what we're gonna do." And then they went, "Holy shit, people like this, and we can tell another story. We can do a whole different arc. So it was able to keep it fresh, something new. But like Rader said, I mean, it's like when you're dealing with like the zombie thing, it's like, okay, it's the same thing over and over. And that's what all of them
A
get
lot of
into, even
people that are
Flash.
new to watching Supernatural said they were. What did they say? They were like, but they did a really good job with. I don't know why they like season 5 was perfect and everything like that. And I said, well, that's because it was supposed to end right there. Like it was supposed to end there. That's why they did it the way that they did. But too many people were like, keep it going.
Yeah,
Somebody asked you, get out of here.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like because we've watched what was it? I will even say Smallville. Had its die off point. Flash had its die off point. Arrow kind of had that. You know,
I
it.
see. I might be odd man out here because I can't, for once, say, "Hey, I did watch that. I did watch Smallville, and I enjoyed Smallville, and I was bummed when Smallville ended.
Oh, I cried. I'm not gonna lie.
Um, I wanted more.
But he was
Um,
never gonna wear the suit. That was the thing. If they couldn't have gone further because he didn't want to wear the suit.
Now, I mean, of course, I'm coming from the background of not having background, right? This
Mhm.
was a, hey, let me just watch this show. I don't know the history. I don't know the story behind it, right? But it was something that I enjoyed, and I was like, oh man, I wish they would have done more, like gone full blown with him because I think it was great.
We just take a moment and just remember the name of this podcast and careful how much
Oh, you wanna
we're,
you
we're bragging up Smallville, okay? That's all I want to say. That's it. Continue, Rader. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Tom Welling is
Can
an
we also
amazing
give
Superman.
credit to the fact that for once a show or something was referenced that I knew, okay? Because I
Sorry.
have a laundry list of stuff that I have to watch in the non existent time that I have, right? And for once, a show was mentioned that I knew. The lanterns, I don't know any of the background on lanterns. None of it. When I watched this trailer, I'm like, I have no idea what is happening in any of this. It looks like a true crime thing, and there was like very little reference to anything else. So like outside looking in, right, not having any background, not knowing anything about the lanterns, because here we go, I have not seen any of it.
Mhm.
I was like, so murder mystery, like what are we looking at here? Okay, and then they've got the rings. That's about the gist of what I get.
and, and it's funny is
You're on the right
like,
track, though.
and
You're on the right track.
but I feel like the trailers definitely keep you guessing too, because I mean, we saw space, we saw the town, we saw some like old like western kind of look, like this is going to be taking place across different areas, so you don't really know what the full thing's going to be. And the one thing I'm curious if Mity like had thoughts on was the whole scene where like he's being held down and they're injecting him with something, and you see the glowing yellow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
and
think.
I can tell you, I hate seeing Nathan blonde. I don't like it. It no, I
Well,
don't like it.
he's not even supposed to be blonde. He's supposed to be a fucking redhead.
Yeah, well, yeah.
uh, but I don't think that was fear being injected into him.
There's part of me is like, parallax, parallax.
No, because that's John. That's John, and he's never had it. He's never been a host ever,
Yeah, I know.
ever.
But that's why I'm like, but that's where they could take some creative liberties.
It's such a big stretch because it's such a pivotal part of Hal's maturing and growing as a lantern was him being the host for Parallax and having to confront fear in its most primal state.
Yeah, and just, but I mean, even knowing what we know about the cast, we have a Sinestro cast, in here. We've got, these different people, so it's kind of like, eh? Is there a bigger game afoot? Maybe this is going to lead into um, more on the Man of Tomorrow kind of thing. Maybe they're looking at this as being multiple season, which could be good because I would love to see more of the Lantern Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sometimes you guys say things that makes it hard to behave when I promise to. So I'm going to go with a question instead so I behave. Despite what the name of the podcast is, I do have a question as someone that doesn't know the history as well as you guys.
Mhm.
Did you guys like the portrayal of Superman from Tyler Heckel? Because I really enjoyed it, but I don't know the history.
Face to name, face to name, face to
I'm
name.
trying to remember. Oh, that's
hold
the new
on.
one. That's the new one. That's the new one.
Have you? No, because you guys probably haven't seen any of my shows. I was gonna say, have you seen Teen Wolf? Because he's Derek Hale.
Well, yeah.
Should I drop his picture in side chat? Does that work?
I think you can.
Sure.
Because yeah, that's the.
And him! Oh my god, I love his Superman! Oh!
You
Oh,
know,
his
Yes.
Superman is so good!
Because I had wondered
so
if
good.
like you guys enjoyed, because I don't know the history behind it, but I remember watching, because I watched it because I loved him as Derek Hale, and I was like, oh, I have to watch this, and I was like, ooh, this is so good, but I don't know like if that's how
So-
it's supposed to go.
Yeah,
Or...
so around the time that Marvel started doing it was called the 2099 series, where you had like Wolverine 2099, Spider-Man 2099, everybody from the future, right? All of a sudden going back in time and trying to save the future by fixing the past or whatever, right? DC, I can't remember what the name was, but DC decided that Superman was about to become a family man. All right? They wanted to explore a universe where Superman had a family and really had to fight to keep the identity secret from the rest of the world. And he really portrays well what Clark would be as a father and how Superman would react when it came to his kids being in danger, because he's used to Lois being in danger.
no. I'm gonna actually throw the one at you. The arc with Lois fighting cancer from the show was so beautifully done because it's the first time you see Clark feeling helpless and him having to deal with that.
I'll give you that. But back to what I was saying, like the whole comic run was to show more of the human side to Clark, to Superman, than we had ever seen. Because up until this run, we had Injustice, and Injustice, we didn't so much see a human side to Superman as we saw, here's what happens if you take the restraints off.
It was almost Superman goes Viltrumite.
I mean, I guess that's a way to put it. I don't like it, and I'm going to reprimand you later for it. I don't like it because, like, in the Invincible world, Viltrumites are nothing compared to a Kryptonian under yellow.
No,
sun.
but it
Nothing.
was just the aspect of Viltrumites came in and they basically took over and like this is the way it's going to be, and that's what we got in Injustice was no, the way we've been doing shit's not working. This is the new way.
Will this reprimand take place in a VC by chance later, or
We're gonna sell tickets.
But back to finish my thought. Where was I?
The comic run for Superman.
Nope, not good enough. Not good enough.
Portraying him as more human, the father.
Yeah, okay. So Superman had always been this essentially robot. All right, here is the way that I'm going to be. Here is how reserved I need to be, and we're just going to focus on me being aggressive. And it was if they like, I like David Cornsweet, or however you say his last name. He is a great actor and did Superman justice for the version of Superman that we saw in the movie. But if they could grab Tyler and throw him into the live action, or even just make him the permanent Superman for the TV series, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Because he's got a good balance between here's the peaceful human side of me, and here is the I'm going to just tear you apart side. I think one of my favorite scenes in the Superman and Lois Lane series. If you've not watched the seasons, go do it. Go do it. 10 out of 10. In terms of DC TV shows, I put this up at fucking number 1. At number 1, I put it at number 1. If you have not watched it, watch it. Don't argue with me. Just go fucking do it. It is so good. But there is a scene where Lois takes the kids to go confront an adult bully. All right,
Oh, that
and
one.
Mhm.
Oh
yep,
my god.
so he gets home that night and he asks what's wrong with Lois, and the kids rap Lois out for the whole thing. And Lois says Superman doesn't need to go to the diner and handle this, and he just looks at her and goes, "Superman is not going." And
Oh, that was.
Oh.
I'm
So
not
good.
gonna lie. Like that was a
mm,
mwah moment. Like,
mhm.
So good.
So
I tell
am
you
not.
what, Teen Wolf prepared him for that part right there.
oh yeah,
Because
Yeah.
the whole like anger part, Teen Wolf prepped him for that, but that whole scene in the diner,
Oh god.
so good. So good. I gotta go do a rewatch now. Yep.
And I even just love the way they treated like him and Luther in that one. Like he honestly just there's nothing about him as Superman that I can say was bad.
The version of the general, perfect,
Yes.
absolutely fucking perfect. He encapsulated, not General Eiling,
General Lane. It was just General Lane.
General Lane. Yeah, very very simple. Sorry, brain ain't braining today, guys.
Someone shake him.
Was absolutely perfect. Again, I'm not a huge Superman fan. I don't like the idea that you have someone so powerful that you have to reach that high up to even maybe beat them. And the fact that the people that do beat him don't do it that often is ridiculous, because you have Anti-Monitor, you have Darkseid, are like the two, and Mongol are like the three main beings that have the ability to, every time they fight Superman, win, and they don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like you wrote yourself into a corner, and instead of just giving yourself a decent win, because let's be real, Kryptonite is not easy to get your hands on. Period.
Technically. I mean, Luther has a synthetic one that works. He created it. He can make as much as he wants. Do we really want to go down this road, though? I'm starting to think what we do is once we hit 100 subscribers, you and I can go face to face. We can toe to toe it on Superman.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. 100 subscribers. I'll take you down a peg or two. That's fine.
Oh, you think? You
Start
think?
subscribing right freaking now.
No, I know. It's not a I think. It's a I know. It's a I know.
All right, y'all. We're at 46 subscribers right now. All right.
Chop,
Cost
chop, let's
nothing
go.
to subscribe.
It is
You know what? I'm gonna go do a thing right now.
Oh shit.
$3.99.
I'm gonna do a thing. Let's see. Oh fuck! How do I YouTube? Where's my
I don't-
share?
I don't know.
Help!
I can't help you.
What do you need? The share link?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this. Share.
Is there not one when you're watching a live?
There is. It's at the bottom.
It is. It's below. It's right below the actual
Hold on.
video.
Hold on here.
You can thumbs up, thumbs down, share, save.
And help! My phone says no.
There.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Thank you. Perfecto. Let's see. I'm gonna do a thing.
And what's about to come in here is going to scare us, but that's okay.
But this show did really good. This show did really good. Smallville, I love Smallville. There will always be a special place in my heart for Smallville. Smallville really, God, what they did was amazing. So Smallville was supposed to be, this is for you, Rader, because you said you weren't sure what they're trying to do. It is Clark learning what Superman is supposed to represent, and what his moral boundary lines are when it comes to being
Okay.
a superhero.
Okay, so help me out here, right? Okay,
Yep.
so you said that the point in Smallville was he was never going to wear the suit.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So is the Superman, let's call it quote unquote timeline, not like other things, right? So like we're at, for example, let's use Spider-Man as the best example. We have had a few Spider-Mans. And when they redo these movies, they typically follow the same. He went here, this event happened, he turned into Spider-Man, these things happen, X, Y, and Z, right? It all kind of leads up to the same way. Yes, they redo the movies, they change some things, but you essentially have the same set of things happening. Okay. So with this, again, don't have a lot of background Superman, but I assume we have several Superman movies, different actors playing. Do they not follow the same quote unquote timeline, being that you have one here who, again, the intent was never for him to wear the suit?
So when that was stated, I'm gonna really more. You needed more specificity to
Yes.
Yeah.
that. So Tom Welling did not want to wear the suit. That's what it was. The actor didn't want to wear the suit, not the character. In every timeline for Superman, the same tragic event happens that puts him on the path to becoming Superman. What he does after that varies from each story, but it's always his father gets his father dies. That the way his father dies changes.
Yes.
You have one way where it's a heart attack. There's gets caught up in a tornado and killed.
That was the
There's
Costner
meteors.
version. I
Yep,
remember that.
there's meteor storm. There's Luther kills him. There's a bunch of different ways, but it's like the Uncle Ben thing. All right, it's
Right.
always dad dies and he can't handle it, so he leaves home. And they actually do a really good job in Smallville of showing what the normal progression is for Clark coming to terms with the loss of his father and starting to grow into the man that he's supposed to be. Smallville has a whole season after Jonathan Kent dies where he runs away to the city and ends up getting addicted to, I think it's red kryptonite.
Well, yeah, he was.
Uh,
He wasn't addicted to necessarily. He just put it on. Oh yeah, no, because he took it on and off. It was anytime the pain
yep.
would start hitting him, he would just he. It was a class ring. It was that class ring that had
Yep.
red kryptonite. He would just slip it back on.
Yes. Um,
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. How do you want to play the Superman character but not wear the suit?
It's the curse. I think he was honestly afraid of the curse.
yeah.
Because up until really, who was it after? God, same guy that played Adam in Legends. I cannot remember his name. Brandon Routh. Um, I think he was the first person to draw in the suit after Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the everybody else, it's like, yeah, bad things have happened to them. So there's just this like mentality of there is a curse behind it. You play, and I know Mity's gonna roll his eyes. This, the most powerful man on earth, and then bad things happen to you.
Which Earth?
Earth 17235. There.
But yeah, no, I mean,
I can bring
like,
numbers into it. Jesus.
uh, anyone that had donned the suit either got into a horrible accident or got into a lot of legal trouble. Really bad legal trouble.
I would say, well, two of them died.
Yep.
Was it the original? Well, now I think even the one from the reels.
Mm-hmm.
I think he died in an accident, and then you had Reeves who like had the accident getting thrown from the horse. And I will say this: this is the one thing about Smallville that like hit me so hard. Having Reeves in it, like having him come in and doing the role he did as a Swan and being a bridge for Clark was a French just mwah moment of passing of the torch, and that's why I really wanted to see Welling get over his thing and wear the suit, because I felt that that was the perfect handover from like the last icon to the new.
So
You
here's the
just had to
thing.
bring the fucking French into it.
So here's the thing. The final episode of Smallville, you don't see the full on suit, but he's in it.
Hmm.
You see the cape, you see everything. You don't see the emblem.
No,
You
you
don't see
no, you see the emblem because he rips his shirt open. That was the last scene. Like he goes to step forward and rips the shirt open, and you see the
but
shirt.
this. Yes, you are correct. This also wasn't supposed to be about Superman being Superman.
Mm-mm.
This was supposed to be about the journey to becoming Superman.
And that's where they did differentiate from the comics, in my opinion, a lot, and I'm okay with it because in the comics we had Smallville had Superboy, and he had the suit.
Mm,
If you look at the comics, and this was, I think it was better. It was more humanizing.
mm.
Did they have Tom Welling move on to do another DC role somewhere? Did I hear that right?
He came
Mhm.
back in what was it? One of the Crisis ones, and revised his.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, he revised his role. Um, and it was such a beautiful scene because it's like, nope, I've given up my powers because I have a family and a life, and that is something that I never thought they would actually do in any of the shows. But it really makes sense for his character, for the way he played Superman.
He does it in the comics once, and it's terrifying.
Oh yeah,
So essentially, an alien military shows up that Superman knows he can't beat, and they say, "I'll give you one out. Give your powers to anyone on the planet Earth. You give up your powers for 24 hours, and we will leave you in this planet alone forever." And guess who gets the powers? It's Batman. And they don't show you what happens in Gotham, but Gotham is really quiet for 24 hours. Let me tell you what.
that's when you do. That's when you have like the Purge style announcement in Gotham. It's like Batman has acquired Superman's powers. All
Mhm.
villains are advised to stay inside, locked down. There is no emergency response.
Like, arguably, the worst person to ever obtain Superman's powers ends up getting Superman's powers.
You're gonna make me rewatch Smallville again though, because I rewatch that like every couple of years. And while
I had only seen it one time, and it was when it first came out, and I remember nothing.
it's
Yeah, it's been
Nothing at
a
all.
long time. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember watching it.
in the rewatching, like the first couple seasons suffered from the same thing that Buffy did, and that was monster of the episode. There was overarching, but it wasn't the central part of the story. It was more just introducing you to all the different things that were going on and how kryptonite was affecting these different people and how he had to step up and protect his identity and still save the day. But once you start getting into the bigger arcs, it got, I mean, like the Justice League, the Justice Society, and I'm gonna say something that's controversial. He should have been with fucking Alicia.
Shut up. No. No. No.
Now, see, I knew it. I knew she was great.
No.
Can I just say that one of the girls, I don't remember which one she played in it. She's not Lois Lane, she's the other one.
Chloe or Lana?
So like I think it was Lana. She went on to do like the most incredible show on CW ever, and nobody knows about it, and it's fucking driving me crazy.
And which
What's
show
the
was that?
show?
They did a Beauty and the Beast with a super soldier beast.
Oh no, that was Lana. That was Lana.
Yeah. And like every time I bring it up, everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" And like drives me crazy.
See, unfortunately, I remember the first Beauty and the Beast TV show with Sarah Connor from the 80s.
I didn't watch that one. I know of it, but I will stand by that the one that Kristen Kruk did, Lana, it's nothing can beat it. Nothing can fucking beat it ever.
It was like Linda, yeah, because that one was the 80s one was Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that
Well,
the redo was good too. I mean, and she's done a lot of things. I mean, she was Chun Li in the Street Fighter movie they did for her.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, Rader, it sounded like you had something to say.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, for other stuff up and coming, we are at another week of disappointment of not having the Doomsday trailer. I know there was a lot of hope that potentially with the Mandalorian and Grogu dropping this weekend that we were going to get it, and we have not.
Nope.
I need to look because the whole idea is that Marvel and slash Disney is holding it to basically show it in the theaters before anything else, like as a trailer on something. And I mean, Mandalorian Grogu
The-
to me would be a great one to do it on. So
Yep. But from what I've seen, they did not.
Yeah, nope.
I
That's
am
what
of the
Rader
sad
said.
numbers that I'm not able to go see that movie. So, us breaking that down is going to be on the back burner till that
I got a
drops.
website. I got a website we can use.
Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. Right now, right here, like that.
Yeah. Okay. And I have a place we can go.
Oh my god, sweet baby Jesus. Okay.
Why Superman Sucks does not endorse.
Oh, come on.
Right.
What? Next Hive movie night? What? I didn't say
Mm-mm.
Will happen.
So
no, I'm excited for it. Um, and I look forward to being able to kind of dig into that.
yeah, Doomsday is going to be so good, so good. Let's hop on that for a minute, all right? We're gonna jump again. We're gonna transition. uh, Doomsday is a make it or break it step for Marvel, right? We had Infinity War Endgame run was peak cinema. It was amazing. It was great. The stuff after that, really good. And then they started to slip it up. But Doomsday is one of those, like, they brought the Russo brothers in for Doomsday and Secret War, okay? Like, they brought in their heavy hitters. So they understand that I don't want to say failed. A lot of people looking at one person in particular, not going to name names, but you, sir, don't know what you're talking about. A lot of them were really good. You had a few that were could have been better, but weren't bad. All right, and they need to get back to that gritty gut punch, in your face, nonstop action, nonstop drama that they were doing before, and these runs get you there. Mind you, this is going to be a complete reset of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, in the comics, in both Marvel and DC, they do this a lot. They'll write a story out, and it'll be extravagant, it'll be big, it'll be bold, it'll be wild, and then they'll nuke it so they can go build something new with all those characters that you loved. Which is something that you movie fans are going to need to get used to. Is in the comic world, translating into the movie world, death is not a permanent thing. All right? You'll see someone go away for quite a while. I think the longest we ever had a character go away, Sentry was gone for a little over a decade.
Yeah.
Iron Man at one point in time was non-existent in the comics for almost 20 years.
Well, I mean, then we had Cap for what was it, 4 or 5 years?
Yep. Sometimes they go on the back burner to focus on someone else, but they always come back inevitably. Okay. Except for Black Widow, I think.
Yeah.
I think if we get her, it's a different actress.
Yeah.
Mofo's out here really pulling a Terminator. Oh, good bop.
But I will say one thing with Doomsday that I did hear got confirmed was Tom Hiddleston coming back as Loki.
Again, I need to reiterate for people. Hold on. Thank you for bringing this up. All right, this is not right. Focus up with me, comic fans. I know you're sitting in the chat. I know you're here. Focus up with me. That was not God of Stories Loki.
No.
No matter how bad we want it to be God of Story Loki. Nope, I see you backing up on me. Get up here. Right here in front with me right now. Pay attention. Good boys. No. Not God of Story Loki. Bad. So bad. So wrong. Not even close. Get it out of your head. Let it go. It's still a great version of Loki, but it's not that Loki. They even said it. And there's so many. Nope, bring it up. So many of you that have just grabbed onto that it hurts my brain. Stop it. Get some help. Get some
So
help.
what do we think the odds are here of, and I know nobody wants to think about it, but of Doomsday being a flop? And hear me out. The reason that I say this is the amount of building up that they are trying to do with not even releasing the trailer yet. And, we keep building, oh, is it going to be now? Is it going to be now? You put all this, you know, pressure on not only the trailer, but the movie itself.
Yep, there is a chance. There is a chance. I wouldn't say that there's a huge chance, but there's definitely. Um, I think what kills this movie is more how people are going to receive it. All right,
Box office wise,
because
it'll be fine, I think, because of the cast.
because again, looking at one specific individual that may or may not exist within my Discord. Looking at you. Come up here. Come up here and sit down. We're talking to you right now. All right, focus up. You will not always get your expectations, and you should never, ever, ever, ever completely shun a project because even 10% of your expectation was not met in this movie. This movie, any movie, is not meant for you in particular, for any one person. There are so many other cogs in the machine that they have to make sure are given attention. That yes, sometimes important things might be missing. Yes, there may be some inconsistencies that upset you, but I still cannot believe you tried to tell me a TV series was bad, that on every rating program that exists on the internet, it got a 95% approval rating or higher.
That's like with anything. I mean, you back up and let's look at Star Wars, right? I
Mhm.
I know in the room here I'm the big Star Wars fan. I hate a lot of the new stuff. Mandalorian I enjoyed. I watched the Mandalorian series. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But there's been some stuff that they've put out that I sit here I'm like, what the fuck was the point? I mean, Rogue One. Nobody in the history of ever looked at the Star Wars movies and was like, gosh darn it, how did she get those plans? How did we get here? No, nobody gave a shit. They had the plan. She gave it to R2. We all moved on with our lives, and the story went on. But then they're like, Disney's like, hold the phone here. How'd she get those plans? We're gonna tell how she got those plans. And it's like it's one of those situations where you had to kill everybody off. Let's give you characters that you're going to enjoy, and we have to kill every single one of them because in the movie timeline, they no longer exist. So we're going to give you these people, we're going to have this great story, but just know at the end of this, they all fucking die
Well,
because that's what happened in that movie.
and the funny thing to me with it too is it's like you're answering a question 40 years later. It was almost 40 years. It
If
was 39.
George Lucas wanted us to know the answer, we would have had it 40 years ago.
Yeah,
So
because
I'm good. I'm good. I promise I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, you sure?
That one movie irked the piss out of me though. I remember going and seeing it and I was like, well, that was a colossal waste of fucking time. Like I said, I will give everything one shot, okay? I will
Mm.
watch it and because I love Star Wars. So, I still have one on my watch list that I'm building up to because she's again, I don't like her. I don't like her character. Not that anything against her or like her basis, like yeah, I'm sure it's great, but if you look
hmm
down at the facts of the movie, she doesn't make sense. Ahsoka never
okay,
would have
okay.
been Anakin's Padawan. Never. There is no world that you can sit here and try and convince me when the Jedi Council didn't even trust him enough to full on take the role and wouldn't even let him stop being a Padawan, they never would have allowed him to have a Padawan himself. It just wouldn't have happened. I understand why they did it. I understand building and giving them branches off to go on to, right? I got it. I got it. When they bought the Star Wars franchise, they couldn't mess with the original stuff, right? You can't there's some stuff that they could build off, and that's where we're seeing like background stories for Kenobi and Maul and all of that stuff coming up, right? I that you can do, but when it comes to the core six, but even more so the core three, you can't really do much off of that. I mean, they've done really well with even just pulling Luke in for the Mandalorian stuff, so they had to branch off with Ahsoka, and I got it, but you cannot convince me that they would have ever trusted him when they all had their suspicions and caution around Anakin, that they would have allowed him to teach someone.
Well, you got to think like potentially, hear me out. This is me playing the other side. All right. Potentially, what could have been the lore for the background of the workaround on that was because during this time, this is Clone Wars time we're talking, all right?
Right.
Kenobi was still around, and he was rank of master at this point. Kenobi was.
Right.
That could have been because it was not unheard of for a master to have more than one Padawan. All right.
Sure.
It was rare, but it was not unheard of. So that could have been officially Kenobi's Padawan, but because Kenobi went against the Jedi Council when it came to taking Anakin under his wing, made it very clear that he didn't care, that he was going to honor Qui-Gon's wishes and he was going to take care of Anakin and raise him in the ways of the Force. So as a means of giving Anakin an honorary master position, like you've been working with me long enough, the council will not give you this, and I cannot grant you the official title, but I can treat you as an equal. Here is your Padawan.
I mean, sure, but here's the problem with that kind of theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ahsoka is well renowned at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to Kenobi taking Anakin, it was a hey, I understand that you guys are saying no because there's so much what ifs when it comes to him, right? They could
Mm-hmm.
see both. Yoda says, he could see the good, he could see the bad there, and it's a question of which way it falls. So when Kenobi said, "Hey, I made this promise, I'm going to do it," I feel like that's different of okay, if it then becomes on him. Hey, if Anakin succeeds, cool, you did it. You were right, we were wrong. If he fails, hey, we were right. We have to put this down, kind of thing. And that's essentially kind of what happened, right? I mean, we don't see it because, well, shit hits the fan with Order 66. So there's no way for Kenobi to get that quote unquote reprimanding of, hey, we were right. He was a bad apple. Okay. So I don't see the council allowing him to influence another person, right? Now, granted, he doesn't negatively influence Ahsoka because she ends up running off when things start to go hairy, right? Because in the course of the timeline, this falls in between what? In between 1 and 2, but also part of 2, like it kind of overlaps into 2.
Yep.
So, we leave Anakin as a child in 1 and him saying, being told, "Hey, I'm going to teach you." To fast forward to 2, he's a Padawan. He's been training, he's been doing all of this stuff, and now he's trying to become a master and he's being told no by the council. Okay, so in that, him trying to become a master didn't happen until mid 2. And if we're going off with Clone Wars, the animated series taking place between 1 and 2, but also into 2, then I just don't see the council allowing it, because he hadn't even come up to them with the wanting of progressing to master at that point. He was still in training for all intents and purposes. So they wouldn't have allowed him to train someone else. I mean, I understand where they could have been coming from and what you were saying, trying to argue the other side. But just so much with how strict the Jedi were across everything, it just never made sense to me. And maybe there's books out there or something that kind of covers into this section, because we know I haven't dived into the books. I really want to. I just haven't been
What's
able to
canon,
start
what's
getting
not,
into
though?
that world. It was so, and that's where that comes into a whole new problem, because when Disney bought everything changed from what was canon to not canon, and then things that were canon were no longer canon.
Yeah.
So it's all about the timeline that you want to cover in what I would read. Um, the Star Wars world is it's unlimited, right? There's so many avenues that they could go through. And I mean, even just looking in now with the Mandalorian stuff, branching off from the core six, so to speak. I mean, yes, we have Luke and Ahsoka come in, and I use her very loosely because she's not part of the core six. But, you know, they were able to take us off into this other realm of things happening, and I think that's where they need to focus. Backstories are cool. I like the Kenobi. um I'm excited for Maul, because I'll
Hmm.
tell you what, for the longest time I was one of those people that I was like, I don't want to watch the animated shit, right? I don't want to watch Clone Wars. I don't want to watch Rebels. I don't want anything to do with that, because I think it's stupid. Okay? That was the mindset that I had. And then I finally was like, all right, I'll watch Clone Wars, I'll watch Bad Batch, I'll watch Rebels. And then the scene happened where we revisit and see Maul. And I was like, excuse the fuck out of me? He died. He died in the movies. What do you mean he's here? I can tell you, my husband, who does not like Star Wars, and he's not going to remember this conversation, I looked over at him and I said, listen, I know you don't know Star Wars, but I need you to just sit here and like nod your head and pretend like you understand what I'm saying here, while I flip out over the fact that Maul is on my screen right now. And I just kind of went off into this whole thing, and he was just like, "Yep, yeah, and I'm like, "All right, I'm good now." And he was like, "Okay, I have no idea what you just said, but I got you." Because I was like, he was dead, and I would have never known that he wasn't dead without watching Clone Wars. So,
Yeah, Maul. I'm not starting Maul until you start it,
Hmm.
and we'll do a breakdown of that here on the podcast too. We can either do episode by episode, or we can do the entire season at once. I'll leave that up to you. Um,
And I want to watch that
how,
one anyway because Maul's one of my favorites.
how however, how do I word this? Because Ahsoka and Anakin just made sense, right? I've read a lot of the books. I get coming from a world of just the original movies, that it makes absolutely no sense. But the other thing you got to take into consideration is during like the beginning of the Clone Wars was the thinning of the Jedi.
Hmm.
Like their numbers were going down. It was getting more and more difficult for the council to locate other beings that were in tune with the Force. It would not be a surprise for them to make a minor exception because they need their numbers up. Um, and then you take into account the accolades of Obi-Wan. Okay, like this man, Luke, Anakin are stars, legends amongst Jedi and Sith alike. Obi-Wan was absolutely feared by the Sith and revered by most Jedi. Like this was a man that, in the most apt and direct terms, he's a great Jedi. he was a great Jedi. He did not follow. He did not strictly follow the Jedi code. He was by no means anywhere close to uh, dark side user. But like the man was, fun fact if you don't know this, he was married for a short time.
Okay.
His wife was killed. I don't remember if there were kids, but I know that
Uh,
he was in fact married, and that is 100% against the Jedi code. He was not against underhanded tricks in combat. He did not teach a conventional uh, lesson of what the Force was and how you were to use it and how you were to live by it. Uh, but again, he was absolutely, absolutely feared by the Sith, and the whole reason that Luke was as big of a menace when it came to fighting Sith was because of the teachings that he got from Old Man Obi-Wan. Um, so you take status into effect, you take the fact that the Jedi Council understood that their numbers were drastically low, too low to be able to fully support uh, the military during the Clone Wars at that time. Like when you take a look at the Clone Wars in itself, you never ever see more than maybe one or two Jedi assisting.
The troopers.
Yeah, the troopers never, and that's not strategics. That's they didn't have the numbers.
Well, I think part of that too is why, like, yes, okay, you were not supposed to have relations. You weren't, you're essentially celibate, right? But I
Yeah.
feel like you have many situations where we see that stuff happened. I mean, with Obi-Wan, there was the thing between him and that Mandalorian chick. I can't remember her name. You know what I'm talking about though?
Yes.
They even hint at it at one
Mhm.
point. There's backstories that even Yoda had a significant other at a certain point. Again, it becomes, is that canon, not canon, but it's there. Um, and so because of their numbers, I feel like it's one of those things that is like, yeah, that was a rule, but I think a lot of people were like, let's sweep that under the rug, which is why, had things not gone the way they had, I guarantee Kenobi would have helped Anakin when it came to the children with Padme. Um, and, you know, had things not gone down that road, and we would have had a whole different world. And as much as I'm about to be really, really hated here. Okay,
Uh oh.
really hated. I'm prepared. Okay, I'm always prepared when it comes to Star Wars because my favorite character is Jar Jar Binks. Okay, so I'm prepared for the hate. But if Disney were to ever decide, and again, this is probably something that probably couldn't happen. I don't know the legalities of what they can and can't do with the purchasing of Lucasfilms and everything. But if they were to ever do, oh, how do I say this? An alternate timeline kind of thing. So let's say Anakin doesn't go to the dark side and they do a whole run off of that side. That would be something I would watch.
But Anakin
Um
not going to the dark side
I
means there's no balance.
I know, but there's it's kind of that what if scenario. And I know there's some things, shows and whatnot, or movies that they do that in. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's ringing a bell. I know I've seen stuff, right, though,
Yeah.
that there is that alternate timeline. And I think that it would be something interesting, and it would give them the ability to change things and recreate things within the Star Wars universe that they could build off of. Now, yes, you're going to have people that will be salty because that's, I mean, at that point, that throws out movies 1 through 3.
But I don't think you have to go back that far. I mean, really, all you'd have to do is give us a branch, and you're gonna hate me for this, like Star Trek did the Kelvin timeline, to separate their stuff out, where we get what they have deemed as the non-canonical now legends um, kind of stuff back in. So all the books they threw out the window, all that history that we had with Thrawn, Mara Jade, everything else, and go, okay, cool. Here's your timeline where that is still a legit thing.
Hmm.
I would watch that hands down. I have been waiting for a Mara Jade. Uh,
Well, see, I've never watched any Star Trek, honestly.
well,
We could. Okay.
that's okay. I
No,
forgive
no, no,
you.
you're good. It's Star Wars. It's in the blood.
No, I'm good talking. I want to bring up something still Star Wars. We could still get it and stay canon and not lose movies because in the movies, Anakin, before he dies, he finds his way back to the light. Essentially, like if you remember what he is described as, not in just the movies but also in the books, is he is like a physical manifestation of the Force. Every once in a while, the Force does this when balance needs to be brought to the Force, to the universe, right?
Hmm.
So it would be nothing for because the Force itself is living. We all know this, all right?
Mhm.
It is a living it's a living entity. Um,
In yourselves.
that is yes, that essentially borrows you its powers if you can learn to harness it. And it would be nothing for them to actually bring him back from childhood up and have him as just a Jedi. It could happen.
Right, but when I say that it kind of wipes out 4, 5, and 6, is that part of Luke and Leia's um what's the word, character building is they were adopted by, you know,
Different.
Luke going to their aunt and uncle and Leia going to the Organas. Um that's part of their character building, right? So the whole chain of events that happen in 4, 5, and 6 wouldn't have occurred that way if they had a father. Now, I mean, I guess you could still go the route of they got adopted
Mm.
because Anakin wouldn't be able to be a father to them, right? Because Jedi code. So I guess in a way you could fashion it that way, but it's essentially plucking Vader out of the scenario because without Anakin, unless somebody else takes up the role, it would alter that whole chain of events.
Well, and you'd have to for Luke, because I mean, part of the thing with Luke in 4, 5, and 6 is, that call to the dark side.
Hmm.
Him fighting against that. So if you replace Vader with someone else, I mean, you'd have to create some kind of,
Connection,
yeah, to
some
to
yeah.
make that happen. Because I wouldn't want it to just be like Palpatine again, like he was whispering
Right.
in fucking Anakin's ear, like, no, we just skipped a generation on it. I'm gonna do it to your kid, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. But like I said, if I think it would be interesting to see an alternate timeline where, you know, Anakin didn't go to the dark side
I got you covered.
because
I got you
that
covered.
was the whole premise of what Yoda was looking at him, right? Hey, he could be the change, again, he was the chosen one. What would have happened if he had taken up that mantle and actually done it?
Okay.
How would the chain of events changed
And
if that had occurred?
and here's how we do it. We wait another 10 years, right? We get some more series and stuff out there, and then we have a new series about Anakin, and it starts off with Yoda sitting there meditating, opening his eyes and realizing that everything we have seen beforehand was just Yoda's premonitions. There you go.
I mean, yeah, and that's where, like I said, I don't know what the fine print in the contract when Disney
They own
purchased Lucasfilm.
all of it that
I
I am
know they
aware of, as far as I
own
remember.
everything,
Yeah.
but as far as changing what's already there, right? So that, for example, that's where I'm saying like Ahsoka, right? That's a change that's not in the movies, but they worked it to fall in, and that's why they used her and were able to branch off to give them something to show. So as far as changing core details, like, because I mean that's obviously like main
Hmm.
plot, Luke, I am your father moment, right? Um, I don't know if that's even something they could do,
I feel
is
like
what I mean.
I feel like they would have to have that power because they technically own Thrawn and everybody else, even from the Legend stuff that hasn't been used. So I mean, it's all
Hmm.
stuff that they have the right to use. Um, and hell, Timothy Zahn had the fight of bringing Mara Jade in. Saying like, yeah, no, you need to use her, and them going like, we're not sure because we already said this was not canonical, so we don't want to necessarily bring it in. So they've got the ability. I just think one of the problems that we see more on the Star Wars side than we do with like Marvel and the rest of them is that there are too many competing ideas of where the story should go, and nobody knows the
Yeah.
actual answer. So we're kind of flip flopping back and forth, kind of moving towards one thing, then it gets changed, and then moving towards something else, and then it gets changed. So until they
It's
have like a strong timeline of this is where we're going,
yeah.
it's going to be a
It's
hit or miss.
the the problem is the the possibilities are endless when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, they have so much that they can pull from and branch off with, that's why they're struggling, and we're seeing a lot of, okay, well, let's go back to the base stories, the Solo movie, like I said, Maul, all of this kind of stuff. Um and kind of building off of that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that would be neat to see, but like you said, I don't see anything coming of that until they decide what direction they ultimately want to go. Do they want to mess with the core six, or do they want to just try and continue building off of them and go into different worlds, going
And I
back in
think
time, kind of like what we're seeing with Harry Potter and what they did with Fantastic Beasts, where they're going back in the timeline to build content off of that,
well, they've talked about the
since they can't
Revens.
with their core.
They've talked about potentially doing a Revan series.
I was
I'm
about to
I'm
say,
surprised they haven't.
can I say my piece now? I've been waiting so long for this.
Yes,
I
go for
haven't.
it.
I figured it out. I know how we fix it and not have to change everything. It was Revan the whole time. All right? Anakin is still out there. He was never technically found. It was Revan. Revan reincarnated himself once again into the body of a little boy on Tatooine. Super powerful. It was Revan. All roads lead to Revan. It was Revan. Or Malik, because it's
Yeah,
either
well, yeah.
one or the other or both. But yes, oh my god, you mentioned Revan, and Revan is my absolute, absolute, absolute favorite.
The fan.
He is
Mm, yeah.
he is by
I've been waiting. I've been
Mhm,
waiting for you to bring up Revan because I
mhm,
know we've had conversations regarding
mhm.
him in the past. And so when I started talking about this, I have been waiting for you to bring up, them doing something with Revan.
You
Hmm.
could. He would, hands down. Okay, so a quick minor lore drop for everybody in here. We're gonna get to Bleach. Don't worry. But we're here. We're on Revan. Revan is absolutely amazing. Out of all of the Sith lords, there is only like two or three that actually achieved what the Sith's goal was. Uh, and that was functional immortality. Okay,
Hmm.
you have Bane, you have Plagueis, and you have Revan, and each of them did it in their own way. One of them was able to, even after death, hold his body together with the Force. The other was able to utilize the Force so well that the only killing blow that he was ever able to receive was getting like his head split in two. And then you had Revan. Revan is the only Sith Lord to obtain functional immortality, and he did it through reincarnation. Um,
I
Revan,
w-
oh, good.
oh, I was just going to say, I'd like to point out that you can hear Mity hitting his desk to make his points.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I love it.
So in Star Wars lore, Revan is what grabbed me. I played Knights of the Old Republic 1,
Yes.
and I played Knights of the Old Republic 2. And the fact that, like, the whole time I'm sitting there playing this game, like, this kind of feels like Revan. This kind of, this, like, the guy I'm playing really, really the situations you put me in and the options you give me for things to say, I think I know what's going on here, and I was so happy to find it out. He is because Revan, you can't just call him a Sith. All right, yeah, sure, his origin starts him out as a Sith Lord, but this is a man that managed to master both sides of the Force. All right, you want to talk about an absolute balance bringer? It is Revan, and like his betrayal that he experienced with Malik is essentially what set him on the path of maintaining the light side of the Force. Was he was able to see the error of his ways and realize that the decisions that he was making and that Malik was making were not beneficial to the growth of life itself. This is a man that, fun fact, was on the light side during Order 66 and was such a pain in the ass to Imperial forces that was ordered. It was a decree from the very top that Revan was to be left alone. And in exchange, Revan goes into solitude. And I don't, outside of the books, I don't think he's mentioned, but maybe one or two more times. But like the fact that he was able to die and then his soul utilized the Force to bring him back, absolutely crazy.
Would you be, and again, because this goes into stuff that's outside of what we've seen on television, right? And so it gets a little bit of fuzzy for me here. Would he not fall into the classification of a gray Jedi?
Yes.
Because gray Jedi walk the line between both light and dark. And again, that's another thing that I think would be amazing to see Disney do something with, is bringing some of these aspects to light, because we never see gray Jedi.
Well, and it's not even would he. That is what he identifies as. On either side, like he after the betrayal from Malik, you really don't see much of fallback or flashes to a full turn to the dark side. It more becomes whichever side. It's like a politics thing for him, really. He is neither one side or the other. It's whatever side he believes is benefiting the growth of life itself is where you see Revan align with, for the most part.
Ew. I looked it up real quick, and they have Ahsoka listed as a gray Jedi.
Yeah, she is. And for her,
I haven't watched it, so.
Yeah, well, they don't even really touch on it in anything outside, in anything really. You just see when you watch how she is and when you read how she is more of, I'm going to do what's right no matter what the cost of doing the right thing is. And that comes a lot from her teachings from Anakin. Because remember, Anakin was so jaded by the Jedi Council that while he understood that the Jedi's belief system was the right way, it was positive, it was, that was what good was, right? Because in Star Wars we have a very black and white definition of what is good and what is bad. The light side is good, the dark side is bad. However, during the Clone Wars is still during that time where he's full of anger towards the Jedi Council because they refuse to acknowledge him. No matter, it's like developing daddy issues. All right, the whole time you're sitting there and you're like, I will get approval. I will get approval. Why can't I get approval? Why can't I get approval? Why am I not good enough? Why will I never be good enough? So not only is he instilling the core values of the Jedi belief system into Ahsoka, he's also saying, you also need to bear in mind that while this is the right way, you still need to make your choices based on what you believe is right, because at the end of the day, you can't rely on these people that are supposed to govern us, because they nitpick. They pick and choose who it is they want to support, and why they want to support them and why they don't want to support them. And if you don't fall exactly under what their code is or what they believe is the right way to do things or the right person to be, then you're going to be outcast. Look at me. And that's where Ahsoka learns her I'm going to do the right thing, and sometimes to do the right thing you have to do the wrong thing. And that's what makes her a great Jedi. Because it's here's this. And also, can I just bring up real quick that the saying that they have that only a Sith deals in absolutes is an absolute. Can we all just sit
What
and
do we
let
talk?
that soak in for a second?
Wait. What have we said about logic? Okay.
Get your logic out of my army.
Okay. I feel like you should know this already. You should have known
Yeah.
before the words even came out of your mouth.
Can you just not throw my own words against me? Is that a thing that can
No.
happen here?
No.
Does
Never.
everywhere I have to go this have to happen to me?
Wait,
Absolutely 100 times yes.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
But yes, Revan would be a great movie series, even one shot to do, even animated. And again, if you want to fix this whole timeline thing without losing anything, you can utilize Revan.
Oh yeah.
100%. 100%. It's super easy to do. Not a whole lot of work has to go into it. Like,
The problem is that it becomes that balance of upsetting your original Star Wars fans in culturing a new Star Wars fan base, right? Because we're
Mhm.
in that age and era where you have um the people who remember going and seeing the first movies in the theaters, right? And
Mhm.
that is, the main, 4, 5, and 6, right? That is their
Mhm.
baseline. And so to undo what has been done, so to speak, right? You are going to anger that older generation. They're not going to be open-minded. They're going to be pissed off. It's a lot of like what we're seeing right now with the whole Harry Potter, right? We had the
Mhm.
Harry Potter movies. Now we're redoing it into a TV series and we're making things very, very questionable. Yeah. Okay. So that's essentially what they're going to see it as. They're going to say, "Hey, leave the original stuff alone. This is our childhood here. Don't touch it." And balancing that with, here's this new age of Star Wars and us trying to culture, the next generation into a love of Star Wars. How can we bring these two worlds together? And so, it's you're gonna have, if they were to ever go down this route. Again, I really would love to see it. I don't think we ever will see it, but on the off chance, um, that I think is going to be their biggest confrontation with doing this, even if we're going down the route of, Revan, or even doing something like Yoda waking up and seeing, okay, this is what happens if this is what we do to Anakin and we don't accept him and don't, nurture um, that hope in him. This is the chain of events. You're going to have a lot of very, very angry people. And it's, does Disney want to risk it? Do they want to risk it for the biscuit? And I don't see them ever taking that chance.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's like with the coming into a new age for Marvel, coming into a new age for comics. But here's the thing, all right? And once again, all you OGs out there, okay? I love you all to death. But focus up, come a little closer to the camera with me. All right? All right? You here yet? I'll give you a little bit longer. Hold on. I know it takes a little bit to get up. It's a struggle. I get it. Get the fuck over yourselves. Period. Growth happens, change happens. We've experienced it enough in our day to day. It's not going to hurt in the movies. We're trying to usher in a new generation of fans to keep this franchise alive. And if you fucking take Revan away from me, I swear we're gonna have a problem.
I must say, I have the Revan lightsaber hanging on my wall. It's
Mhm.
only I have a custom one I got, and I got that one. And if they get rid of Revan, I will fly to Hollywood with the Revan lightsaber.
I think
I'll put it in places.
more so what we're going to see is they're just not going to touch it. And I think
Mhm.
that if they don't even choose to do anything with Revan, that's a big fail on their part. Because, like you said, we've got, Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, and whatnot, where there is very heavy references into Revan, right? There's a
You are,
whole,
you are Revan.
yeah, but like there's a whole storyline with Revan.
Mhm.
In because I know you played Knights of the Old Republic. I played Old Republic. Okay, in Old Republic, there's a whole quest line that has to do with you taking orders and meeting people who follow Revan. And to not use that universe would be such a big failure, honestly, because there again, it's instead of building off of future stuff, go back. Go. This is one of those that I would be okay with. Let's go back, and dive into this world and all the potentials that you could build off of. I don't. It's all in the matter of what's Disney gonna do, and with Star Wars, you know, I think they had a lot of stuff that they wanted to do when they took over, and I've noticed that things are kind of starting to slow down a little bit. We had a lot of talk in the beginning of, oh, we're gonna do X, Y, Z, and now a lot of these things we're not hearing about anymore. Not to say that they're not gonna happen, but Disney's got a lot on their plate. I mean, across
Mhm.
the board I mean, they've got their hands in all the cookie jars. And so finding that balancing act and trying to make sure that in focusing on one, you're not letting another one suffer. I don't know when or if we would see Revan.
Right, I agree. And let's transition for a minute. Let's
Yep.
jump over into Bleach. Rader, you did not get much farther, but that's why you've been really busy doing some other stuff. But however, apparently through our uh
Bullying.
talks about Bleach,
Bullying.
not bullying. No, we didn't bully you. Lauren has gotten into Bleach, so
The
we're going to have him discuss what he's watched, have him ask his questions, and we will help answer them and explain them to the best of
I get
our
to be
abilities.
on the other side of this now,
Yeah.
where I have to be where I can't say too much, right? Like
Yes.
oh
Yep.
wow. Okay, so I can tell you where I'm at.
the
Mhm.
tables have turned.
Well, I'm on season 2. I'm in the Soul Society arc,
Mhm.
where Rukia. Um, sorry, folks. I'm being very careful with my words because I was told I was going to be fined 1,000,000 yen for saying them wrong. Uh,
Per letter.
oh god damn it! Now you didn't say that.
No, I said that last night. I said per letter, and you said you weren't going to say anything. So I said, fine. If you don't say anything, that's like 2 billion yen.
see,
So.
see, backed
I'm
into
for
a
sure
corner.
not taking this bet when I start watching. Fuck that.
So Rukia is imprisoned, and I'm at the part where he is fighting Renji. Um, it's like the second part of their fight. He's been thrown to the wall and everything. Um, so yeah, I getting to know the main characters. I will say that Ur Uryu
Ururu.
Uryu? Yeah,
Ururu
Uryu.
Ururu. It's spelled so weird. Uh,
Yeah.
but I I'm digging his character, um, and I like the backstory there with the Quincy's and him. Orihime and her powers. I mean, just tell me she's got some mental issues without telling me she's got some mental issues. Um,
I yeah.
because at first when they first like developed, and there were even other people around. Chad was around, and I know Chad doesn't. I can't tell if Chad can see or not in the real world. Because I know like he couldn't before, but with the awakening thing, I can't tell if he can. Sometimes it's weird. Um, but yeah, like when they're in the Soul Society and her little fairy things, fly up to Uriel and start talking to him, and it's just like I thought nobody could see you. I thought you were a figment of her imagination. That was just the way she was manifesting her powers.
It's one of those things that you really don't dive into the true nature and explanation of her powers until you're where I'm at. It's honestly within the past 10 or so episodes, if that many, that I've even gotten the full breakdown, and I'm in 196. I'm in season 13. Okay,
Okay.
so there's a lot of building when it comes to Orihime and and her abilities. And I really, and Mitty can probably correct me if I'm wrong here, we're just starting to see her, I don't even necessarily want to say understanding, because I still think even at this point she doesn't fully grasp it. Eisen kind of explains it. That was where I took a big bulk of my notes, but I don't think she fully comprehends the extent of what she can and can't do. She's in that questioning stage, I think, of can I do this? And so I think we still have a lot when it comes to building up when it with her powers.
Yeah, because even the way they explained it when they like first showed up, you know, we have the ability to do this on this side and then do this on this side of the shield, and I'm just like, okay, like
1,000 Year Blood War is gonna be so brain tickling for you two.
he's going to sit
Um,
there and laugh maniacally at us.
well, no, because honestly, you're not going to see her have anywhere close to a full grasp or understanding of what her powers are, nor how to use them until you get into 1,000 Year Blood War.
Damn.
But, so, like, there's a lot of stuff that you're gonna have questions on right now that you will not have the full answer until 1,000 Year Blood War. And that is just because that arc is supposed to close everything out. Like, that's it. Like, Bleach canonically ends after 1,000 Year Blood War.
That's what I was reading.
Um,
Yeah,
After
but
this
isn't there
next season,
something
it's
else?
done.
Yeah, okay.
They're bringing a novella is what they're doing,
Okay, I was gonna say I thought I heard that there was something.
and that could turn into something. Um, Kubo, the writer, the artist, is absolutely amazing, and he's been able to ride this anime forever. He's done a couple other things here and there, but I think bringing it back, I don't know. I don't know because the manga ends so well. They did such a good job, and then translated into the anime. Oh my goodness. He could potentially do a whole another like 56 seasons if he wanted to with the kids. Really, totally could. It'd be interesting. But to bring Ichigo back, I don't know. They tried to do this in Boruto with keeping Naruto around, and it didn't do good. It didn't do good because of how Naruto ended the way that it needed to end. Right? We didn't need to know what life was gonna be like uh, after the Great Ninja War. All right, we didn't need it. I personally don't think we needed it. I am of the mindset that Boruto was unnecessary and just a cash grab. And if you're going to bring Bleach back after the way they end it, then don't focus on the main characters. Maybe have them make an appearance here and they're like, oh shit, the kids are, they're in a fight that's too much for them, and the parents show up and save the day and do a training arc with the kids and then disappear again into the next big oh shit situation.
Uh,
Yeah.
and my thing was where I'm at too. It's like because Renji and Ichigo had already fought in the regular world. Now they're like having it out. And the only thing in my head with the way those two are sometimes is like, can y'all just kiss already? Because
Yeah, it's not that kind of relationship.
I know, but it's just like
No,
there's this tension between them, and it's
you.
almost like they both have their loyalty to Rukia, and they're just both on the other side of blaming each other.
You
Yeah,
have my
and
full attention.
but
What?
but I would also go as far as to say that's just how Ichigo is. Ichigo sees, hey, there's a button here. I'm gonna push it. Let me touch the button. I want to touch the button. We see that with Toshiro. He refuses to call him by his title. He calls him by his first name, and that pisses him off to no end. That's that button. That's a button. And Ichigo's let me push that button. And Byakuya is the same thing. You know, um, you have these moments where all these people they sit there and they look at each other and they're like, is he fucking serious right now? Like, is he really doing this? And I think that's just kind of part of Ichigo's nature in how he is. Um, that you end up seeing a lot of those types of moments where you're like, "Will you two just get over each other?"
Yeah.
Like just whip it out and measure it at this point, right? Like that's where it sounds like, and that's what it comes to. But that's just how he is. Gosh, man, it kind of reminds me of someone.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
don't
who you're
know.
talking about. I'm thinking the same thing.
I I
Um,
I don't know.
so to switch the topic here, real quick, the other thing you got to take
You
into
know,
account is Renji and Rukia. They grew up together.
Yeah,
Like
and he
as
took her
children, they grew up.
he
They grew
took
up
her
together.
place, right? Like when she used to be lieutenant, is what I'm gathering.
No.
No,
Okay, because
she has
he had
not
made a
yet been a
comment
lieutenant.
because he had made a comment which is in the cell about like her seeing him with the lieutenant being a lieutenant and how it must be affecting her. So I was thinking like she was lieutenant, and then because she was doing all the stuff she was doing, now she wasn't, and so I was kind of like, because we don't
It
know much at
it
this point about who she is uh, within the Soul Society itself.
right. Okay, so we're not there yet.
No, not there yet.
Okay.
I just know she's
It'll be.
royalty. That's it. The royalty and
It'll be.
adopted
Okay, so
sister.
there yet.
Yes.
So it's very much so that with her skill level and what she can do, she very well could have gone, I would say, straight into a lieutenant position. But there's a reason why she wasn't. There's a reason that she was placed where she was placed, who she was under, and where she starts out at.
Okay, because the
I think that's a
Yeah.
fair
No.
explanation without going too much into it.
yeah, but the thing too is like the one thing that just totally baffles me though on this whole thing, she's gonna be executed and all this stuff because she gave away her powers, which at this point we know from him getting his the severing and building back up that he had his own power inside. So she more unlocked it, but gave away some power to do so. And it's like, okay, great, but had she not, because of what was going on at that point, she would be dead.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it's
Here we go. I'm in. Tagged in, coach. I got this one.
Okay.
All right. So here's the thing. All right. Law is law, no matter how you look at it. All right. As a matter of fact, the only way to guarantee to 100% certainty that you can get rid of crime and evil in a specific area where there is laws is you autistically follow the level of the law. All right, there is no gray area. There is no. You're thinking from a logical, compassionate, merciful standpoint, and in the Soul Society, that is not how this works. Because if the law is not upheld, then the Hollows win. Evil takes over, and that is not how that can work. So you cannot use an argument to any of the 13 court guard squads, which are the ones that uphold the law of the spirit world and the overall law for keeping the actual world safe.
but
All right, you gave up your powers to an unknown, and that is forbidden. That is forbidden
Oh.
under pain of death.
Even knowing what I know, thinking back on that pisses me off because of who his father is.
well, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then the whole thing though is you're saying like no mercy, but literally when she's explaining like it back in season one, because he doesn't necessarily want to have these fights and do anything, but once he's understanding that no, we're not killing the Hollows, we're purifying them and sending them on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
You
you are talking literally your entire shit is about mercy. You're sending, spirits trapped here to the Soul Society. You're taking the Hollows and you're purifying and you're sending everything you're doing is technically an act of mercy. But when it comes to one of your own, fuck you.
well, so it's yes and no. I mean, if you want to take this real world, think about it in the scenario of somebody who does something really, really bad, but it was for a good reason and they still get punished. Like somebody who witnesses a crime and interjects and therefore does something breaking the law and then therefore they get punished for it. There's still repercussions there. Okay. Trust me, I was right where you were and still kind of like it still has very infuriating moments, especially when I sit there and look at her quote unquote brother Byakuya, and how he was just very much so
Hmm.
like, hey, she did it. This is where we're at. Because I'm like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
like he didn't
It was
even like
either she
petition for her.
died,
Yeah.
so I get it. But I also understand where what Mitty's saying is there's that balance. Hey, we can't always make exceptions to the rules, because what happens when somebody else does and they don't get the lucky outcome that they did? Okay, so you have another Soul Reaper who is near death and gives their powers to a human, and then that human does the wrong thing with it.
Yeah, but I mean, Ichigo was already special because he could see, the spirits and communicate with them and everything. So I'm like, okay, yes, he was an unknown variable, but he was a unique unknown variable at that point. And then
In
within the Soul
yeah,
Society, watching him like, what was it, the Mondo, whatever that came out of the Rift in season
The
one.
Menos
Yeah,
oh, the
Grande.
Menace Grande.
yeah, the Menace Grande, that he like, fucking did that hit, and like everybody who literally saw it was like, he did not just do that, did he? You know, kind of scenario. You would think the Soul Reavers would be going, yo, um, we need him on our side.
Oh, you're gonna
Yeah, but this,
struggle so much with the 13 court guard squads. I can already see it.
yeah, well, but I yes and no, because remember I had some of the same issues when it came to this, and yes, is it still very very frustrating? Sure, but just because somebody has and I don't want to go say too much, but an ability to see the things that they see doesn't necessarily mean that they can handle more, right? Let's
Okay.
take Orihime here, all right? Orihime can see. She had to go through some fucked up shit to be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you've already had the whole situation with her brother and everything that happened from that, and that's one of the big influences of why she can see. Just because somebody sees doesn't mean they're fit for it, all right? In the retrospect of what you understand Orihime's abilities at this moment, it's pixie dust, right? There's so many times that Orihime gets told, "Hey, you need to stay back because this isn't something you can handle." Um, so just because there is that ability there doesn't necessarily mean that they're built for it. There's a person who ends up able to see, and they haven't done anything with this person. And so I still have this moment of, and I don't think I've spoken on it yet, but I'm like, are they doing something with her?
They
Are we
won't.
going? They don't. So
No.
she's just somebody there that can see.
Yes.
Um, so and then that's a perfect example. I can't remember if that happened in season one. Yeah, 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 because she starts to see when Orihime and the others can see, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she saw
So
the two ghosts. I think I
Tatsuki,
know. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
She's
yeah. So nothing ever comes of her. She sees, she ends up knowing shit that
okay.
she's probably
That
not supposed to know, but
that is
nothing ever comes of
disappointing.
it.
That is disappointing because you see her and
I'm disappointed to know that too.
yeah, they're going through this whole damn thing like with her fighting and oh, second place champion, all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're building a warrior here. She can see she's embedded in this group. It's gonna turn into something, right?
So here's the thing we need to take into consideration here is sometimes, like example, Akira Toriyama when he was alive, there was a lot from the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z manga that never made it into the anime, and stuff that he put into the anime that was never in the manga, and when asked about it, it was he forgot. These are old men, all right, they're old. uh like I think Akira Toriyama was like close. I want to get this right. Hold on, let me Google.
So is this something that in the manga that there's just stuff that's not being brought into the anime itself?
In this instance, unfortunately for you guys, no.
God damn.
Oh, okay.
He 68 years old when he died.
Okay.
All right. So these are older men with some of them have bad memories. Yeah, sure. There's some lazy writing here and there, and that's probably what this could be. I don't think that Tatsuki would have brought much. I think that adding too many humans in the fight,
Yeah.
it's just no. I mean, them being able to see helps move some plot points along, But don't get hung up on that stuff. Do not get hung up on that
Okay.
on the little stuff. If you see it, mark it down, and then just forget about it. And if something pops back up, and be like, "Oh, I had something written down for this," here's
Yeah.
that. So your main for humans that are going to be in fights. All right, you have, of course, Ichigo. You have Orihime, and she doesn't even really fight a whole lot. She's more support. You have Chad, and then you have Uryu. That's it. Those are the four humans.
Okay.
I struggle with that word being paired with the first person that you said, but that's
Yeah,
neither
I
here
know.
nor there at the moment.
So,
Tell me why there's all those names and then Chad. How the
Yes,
fuck does
yes.
that
I,
work?
I you know I am so thankful that they call him Chad because if I had to try to pronounce his name, I would be broke.
and
So
and
it takes place in Japan, right?
mhm.
But Chad is Hispanic.
Yep.
But yeah, he's got a full like Japanese name when they introduce him too.
Oh, I feel like that's just a cultural type of thing. Like, yes,
Uh huh.
it's, and you probably see that in a lot. Let's go with like military route, because you got military people over there, and I'm talking real world at this point. You're gonna have people over there who are gonna have an American based name, but they're also going to have a cultural name. And so I think that's where that comes at for Chad here. Like, yes, he's Hispanic by nature, but he was raised here, and so he has a name to fit for here. But he chooses to more so identify with that Hispanic culture, right? The Hispanic background for him,
Yeah, because it's
and in the name he chooses to go by.
okay. I'm gonna butcher it a little bit, but Yasatora Sato.
Your eyes,
Oh,
punk Chad.
yeah. Yeah.
Chad.
Yeah. No, I mean, and honestly, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like a little bit of racism bleeds into some
I
of
mean,
these.
you want to go that far? Chad's not even a Hispanic name,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Yeah, he's
it's
a Mexican man in a Japanese world with a white boy name.
yeah.
Literally my
But
thought
I
this
mean,
whole time. I'm like, dude is
Mm-hmm.
Hispanic in this other culture, gets a new name, and then just kidding, we're gonna call you white boy Chad. The fuck?
well, if you want to go that route with this entire show, these are a bunch of white kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
they're not, Orihime, she's no, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ichigo,
No.
no,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
What are
I don't
you?
think I've seen a single one that actually fits the quote unquote. How do I say this? The oh, what's
Unohana.
the yeah?
You
I
looking for the
mean,
PC version? Because I can tell you right now, most anime I have watched, 98% of them look white.
yeah, like they don't fit the.
Just say the look.
I was looking for the official word for it. Like, there's just
They
not
look
the
Asian.
the genetically whatever, like what the phenotyping would be for that culture. Okay, you don't see it. I
Unohana.
mean,
Oh, it's the whole thing. Like in anime too, though. It's like rounded
And
eyes
Kenpachi.
versus like for
I
lack of a
wouldn't
better term.
even say Kenpachi. I'd say the old man, sure, but that could
Mm-hmm.
just be because he's old.
He is over 1,000 years old.
So, there's no one in this show that personifies the Asian culture. They are all a bunch of white kids. I mean, that's just kind of. I mean, I guess you get close when it comes to some of the other Soul Reapers. Like, could I see Renji a little bit, maybe, but a lot of that's more so with like the style he chooses for his hair and whatnot. But then you got the dude with 69 tattooed on his face, and you're like, that's a white boy right there. Um, maybe. Oh, and I never write down his name. He's just long eyelash guy for me. He. No, what's the bald one? He kind of fits
Ikaku.
it. Yeah, Ikaku. I could see being more of the Asian influence. Um,
Unohana is it's her. It's her. It's her. They
oh,
they went traditional with her. Captain of Squad 11, I believe.
oh, yeah. I mean, you've also got
Yes,
I have to
Kimberly.
look a name because I always butcher this one's name. Um,
And may I add that Yamamoto is over 1,000 years old with a 36 pack.
Yorichi. Yorichi.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yoruichi
She's one of
Shihon.
the only ones that you see a skin tone difference in, aside from the blind captain,
Like they were drawing this
right?
back in the day. They were just trying to save money on crayons.
um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Yamamoto is over 1,000 years old with a 36 pack. I counted it.
I'm sure you did.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait for you guys to get to the spots in the anime where like he really does stuff because oh my god, like they don't talk about this part. You'll see it eventually a few times, but his Bankai is banned in the Soul Society because if he were to use it, uh, there would be no more Soul Society.
Okay. I will look forward to getting there.
Yes. Like this man, oh my god. Oh my, there's a reason he's so peaceful because he was not at one point in time. And that's manga stuff, so I can bring that up unless you guys are gonna go read the mangas. But like they're oh my god. Oh, they do flashbacks to the original war between the Quincy and the Soul Reapers, but in in the in the manga, they straight show it, and he's a beast. Uh, mute. Uh, no, in here I was hoping for $1. Tell them you love them. Tell them you love them.
We love you.
Ooh, he said we. Ooh, he said we. You're making me commit to things.
Yes, I am.
I don't like that.
Make me do a chick flick moment. Why am I being brought into this?
Quote it.
On the next, as the world turns. No.
Stop fucking quoting me.
But no, I'm looking forward to getting. I mean, I think I've got what like another 5, 6 episodes in the arc, maybe a couple more. So I'm burning through them pretty fast. It's just
Mhm.
it is kind of like there's a lot that goes on. At least the main arc is like always strong, at least in this season 2. And I don't feel like I'm getting thrown stuff left and right because season 1 really had a lot of different points going on that you were tossed into. Um, the stuff with his mom, um, the the big thing that you said right and I say wrong, uh, that came out of the rib, um, introduction to the Quincy and their kind of history, um, and just that alone, just that aspect where it's like you're running off to protect these people, but there's all these other people that you don't realize you've affected that that are in danger as well.
Mhm.
So it's interesting because it's almost like you see Ichigo's eyes open to shit in the first season, and the second season it's like, nope, I'm pissed off and I'm singular purposed right now.
Mhm.
We call that
Yeah.
character building.
Oh yeah, and I mean right now it's like I know you've talked about the whole thing about like it when Orihimi's in trouble, and it's like yeah, I don't think it's just her. It's like if uh Ryuko is in trouble, then yeah,
Rukia, yeah.
you don't mess with I hate putting it this way, Ichigo's girls, you know.
Oh, it's not just
I
that.
was gonna
It's
say that it's his group of friends. Period. I mean,
mm-hmm.
once you get, and I think you've got like another season or so before like you find out the background in his friendship with Chad. Um,
Well, yeah, he did
and
talk about how he met Chad when the whole bird thing happened in season 1.
yes, okay, so that I can remember where that occurred at. But in you will hit this point where Ichigo is so focused on protecting his friends that he's also shutting them out. And you see this kind of friction between them because they want to help him, he's trying to keep them safe. And so, really, when it comes to anyone that's within Ichigo's circle, there is that you better watch out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it's going to progress because I mean he hasn't even his in, Rader, so I don't butcher it. What's the sword's called?
Zanpakuto.
Thank you. Zanpakuto, like he's got his now. It's that butcher knife looking thing, and it hasn't transformed. I haven't seen it transform yet to the second style.
So these don't happen in the TV series; they happen in the movies. But it gets to the point to where this mentality that Ichigo has rubs off on a few of the head captains, and there is a movie to where Orihime and Rukia both are abducted, and the entirety of the Soul Society. It's not save Rukia. It's oh my god, we have to save Orihime before Ichigo finds out.
Okay. That
That I look forward to watching.
It's in one of the movies.
I mean, like right now, I told you where I was at as far as the captain showing up in Waco Mundo, and I'm just like, hold the front door. Why are you here? I mean, yeah, great. Everybody's getting their asses handed to them over here. But why are you here? Why did we have this big thing of, hey, don't you go? You're not allowed to go. Oh, now everybody's here.
yeah.
Yeah, no, as the seasons go on, uh like he gets an honorary title. Like no one else ever gets the title that he receives. And he earns the respect from all the captains, all of them across the board. He earns their respect. And there are moments where you're going to watch stuff and you're going to be like, I don't think this is something that your power level should be involved in. It's really cool that you're here. And then you read far enough into it as the scenes go on, and you're like, oh, you just did this so that Ichigo didn't break the city. Oh.
Feel like, where I'm already starting to see some of that. I mean, at least I'm at a point where the captains are kind of putting that thought in their head. If we go back to the princess arc, as I call it,
Mhm.
you have this moment where everybody's like, "Hey, Ichigo needs to be arrested. Him and Ruki, like, they're doing wrong. We need to apprehend them." And some of them are like, "Pump the brakes here. Wait a second. This doesn't sound like Ichigo. I know Ichigo. This doesn't sound right. There's got to be a reason behind it."
Mhm.
And so you're starting to see this turn in the captain's mentality when it comes to that the law is the law, and this mentality changing to maybe there's times where the law isn't the law.
Yep. There's a whole movie for that too, involving uh Toshiro. It's a really good movie. I'll have to look it up. I can get you the info for it. But essentially, there is a relic being transported, and they end up getting ambushed. It gets stolen. There's a bunch of really good plot stuff that happens, and Toshiro has to come to terms with, like, does his subordinate deserve this severe punishment? or maybe sometimes things are out of our hands and we need to focus less on punishing and more on teaching better. So I like Bleach because they do the world building right, in my opinion. I love the world building in it. There's always growth happening, whether it's a major character or a minor character. They focus on it no matter what. And it's just done so. There's a reason it's in the big three. Okay, there's a reason that it is a pillar in the big three. And I'm really excited that y'all are starting to get into it. That's great. That's awesome because Bleach is a good like step off point. Okay, you've watched Bleach. Bleach has a lot of seasons, a lot of episodes. There's a lot to follow. Now I can go look at all these other animes out here that have a lot of seasons and a lot of stuff to follow, and I'll better understand what power building looks like. How to identify what a political structure is and how to navigate it in the show, how to understand the difference between an actual episode and filler. I hate Bleach for this. I hate Bleach so much for this. There's a 78 episode filler season.
Jesus Christ.
We already know how I feel about some of these. All right. The bounce pissed me off. I thought the princess one was great till I realized it doesn't fucking fit in the timeline of when it goddamn happened. So it also kind of throws in this whole confusion moment. And I didn't think about this till literally right this second. We see within that princess arc where I was mentioning the captain starting to have this moment of, when it comes to Ichigo. And my assumption was that this occurred after the incident in Waco Mundo, but then it's thrown in between being within Waco Mundo. So where does this actually? I'm a timeline person, and I understand I have to throw it out the window when it comes to this. I understand it, but my brain doesn't like it. Okay, so with the character building that happens there, right? Because this is the progression in the relationship when it comes to Ichigo and some of the others within the Soul Society. Where does this fall into the timeline? Is it actually after the whole Waco Mundo incident, or is this something that's happening before Waco Mundo? Because I feel like that's important because of the relationship building that happens within that. But arcs are stupid.
And here's the thing: there is a
Disney had
website.
me wanting to watch until that point, just so you know.
Well, hold on. There is a website you can go to that will give you a watch list that doesn't have any of the filler arcs in it.
But see, I feel like that arc is a very small one. But I feel like it's important because of the building that you see between Ichigo and those captains. And even getting that backstory, albeit it's a small portion of it, but it is a portion of a backstory when it comes to Yamamoto. I understand, the arcs were filler episodes. That's what it comes down to. 100%. Again, the bounce. I really, really struggled pushing through that one because it felt so stupid and long for no absolute reason. But this one was short, and I feel like there was important things that happened within it. Now, are you going to be completely lost if you don't watch it? No. I mean, there's not anything of that level of significance, but I think we see kind of a insight into the captains more within that small little arc that I feel is important.
If you care about not just the main plot point, but you want to know how the intricacies work of the 13 Court Guard Squad, how politics were figured out, how religion was figured out, how just the world itself continues to work, then watch the filler arcs. While it's going to annoy you that it's not fitting into a specific timeline, think of them all as flashbacks. All right?
Okay.
That's really what a lot of it is. There's not a whole lot that happens in the future. It's all flashbacks to past stuff.
I know there's a lot more for me to absorb. So, and being the fact that I have, made it this far in less than 2 weeks, I'm sure by the time we do the next one, I will at least be on probably season 4.
You need to speed it up there, guy.
Look, man, there are only so many hours in the day.
Yeah. We're just not going to talk about my watch style for Bleach. Okay, we're just going to leave that alone.
Did we forget that I'm on episode 196? And how long have we been doing this?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've slowed down a little bit as of recently, but that's because activity level on other things have gone up for me. So
But I will say this,
kids are going to be out of school soon, though.
to everybody who listened to our last 2 lives that I was on, I fought this. I fought this tooth and nail. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And what did I do? I sat down and said, you know what? I'm gonna watch like 1 episode. That was where the mistake happened. So, as the person who's like, no, I don't do the long series. I don't like these big ones. I don't like the DBZ, Naruto, One Piece kind of stuff. I am really getting into this one. So, as it stands right now, for where I am, it is a recommend.
And with that, however, we are going to start closing this out. I'm going to hand it over to Lord and to Rader to do the closeout thing. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Had a great time. We talked about a lot of great stuff. Killer, thanks for popping up and putting your half a cent in. I appreciate that.
You know what? It's a golden half a cent. Thank you very much.
So with that, Lord, Rader closes out.
Ready?
Oh, well, your name was said first, all right? No. Again, like Mitty said, thank you guys for coming out. Make sure to leave your comments. If you disagree with something that we said, tell us about it. Give us an earful, and we will happily cover it in our next video here in not this weekend, but next weekend. We welcome the challenge. We welcome the arguments and the different points of view. If there's something that you would like us to discuss, something you want us to break down, throw that in a comment as well, or hit us up on one of our socials, send us a message, and we will happily look into it and see if we can get it into one of our videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's for free. We greatly appreciate it, and we have a goal now, right? If we hit 100 subscribes, Lord and Mitty are gonna hash it out over Superman.
Oh, this could come to blows.
So it'll be interesting for sure. Um, yeah. So on that note,
Yeah, and links on the we got the link tree on the screen right now, and like Raider said, like, subscribe, make sure to click that notify button, and you know what? I think next week we'll have uh, Spider Noir will be out, and there's other things I know that are coming that we'll definitely be discussing. Raider, want to get the final send?
I
Have a good one.